I'm buying him
Hello,
some
everybody,
bucks.
and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are back, finally, on this lovely Wednesday for some 6&Twenty Metropolis. We've had internet issues, we've had all kinds of things happen, but we're back, and we're here to fucking party. And it's gonna be dope, and everyone's gonna have fun. Have fun, damn it! Sweet, so we're back, and it's gonna be a good time. So let's jump around, introduce our cast and crew here, and then we'll get right into things. So we'll start with the bearded KW Frags. Frags, who are you? Where can we find you, and who are you playing tonight?
My name is KW Frags, and I like to party. Yeah, I
Now that's
recently
it. Intro done.
I recently, as of just earlier today, lopped off the beard. Yeah, you can find me on here, or on Twitter, same name, KW Frags. And I am playing Scratch, the mystery music man, who we're still figuring out. We're still finding out about. Oh, Papa Scratch.
Okay, all right, I can dig it. With that, let's jump over to one Sam. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you, and who are you playing today?
I'm Sam. Twitch.tv/wasn'tfool. Twitter @TheWasn'tFool. This is my second RPG party this week, which is interesting. At the last one, I extorted someone, and so I'm going to a party for a gangster. So maybe this time I'll be the one who gets extorted. So that'd be an interesting turn of events. I'm playing JP today. He's a good young man who just wants to do right.
Define good.
That's true.
But he keeps getting dragged into these bad situations by these horrible influences.
But do you like to party?
Yeah.
Have you met your character? Seriously, you get yourself into so much shit. Have you met your character?
First of all, Grimjack's not here anymore to get you into shit. Flora's usually off doing something else, and he's a child.
All right, so on the real, JP
Really?
sticks his nose into as much trouble as he can because he can't help himself. And now he has a job where he actually gets paid by someone to do that. So that's kind of good. So we'll see how that goes this season.
Perfect. With that, let's jump over to Miss Ginger Ninja. Who are you? Where can we find you, and who are you playing today?
I am Xmas Ginger Ninja. I'm gonna be playing Flora tonight. Maybe JP will kick her boo-boo's ass. Maybe Malcolm will. We don't know who's gonna fight who. Maybe Scratch will get in there and get scrappy. We'll find out.
Scratch is
Or maybe I'll side with him and fuck all y'all. Dude.
Whoa.
Sorry, I just stepped in there for you, Frags.
No, I got a line. I'm just waiting to drop.
Perfect. Let's jump over to Video Store Cowboy. Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are we doing today? What's this game?
Leave me alone. I'm posting to Instagram. I got to keep up with my like 200 followers and shit, man. So I'm sorry. I just got to do my job here.
Let me go look at your story so at least one person does.
Oh wow! What a dick. I didn't even get a chance to actually post my picture because somebody was going to.
Bad, I don't have to.
Oh fuck you!
That one
was Johnny, the Video Store
I
Cowboy.
feel bad.
You feel bad for what? Because only one person's looking at my picture?
Savage.
All right, guys. Yeah, GM for 6&Twenty. This is our second show. This is 3 shows of the week. I'm very curious what's going to happen tonight, specifically because Frag is going to be in his element as Scratch. Oh shit! I didn't want to do that. Sorry, guys. Pro. And I'm also curious what Flora's going to do when she discovers some interesting things tonight. So it's going to be fun. Yeah. And yeah, that's me.
Sweet. So before we jump things over, jump into things, before we jump the shark and hand things over to Johnny, I'll remind you guys of the ways you can interact with the show. If you guys want to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that retweet. Also check the donation section down below for Nat 1s, Nat 20s, NPCs, items, all kinds of fun stuff like that. And with that, Johnny, take us away to 6&Twenty Metropolis.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Okay. Previously on 6&Twenty Metropolis. A dream exposes JP to a possible direction to explore his unanswered questions, but the mundane life beckons. Malcolm's world gets bigger with the return of his sister, but he soon realizes that there may be trouble when Gideon makes it a habit of breaking away from the Lost Boys. Flora chooses the mundane life by neglecting the information that Vidalis provided for her. But a new wrinkle in the world comes in the form of Scratch, the raspy blues musician with an eye for the quiet life. When Mr. Gallows recommends that JP work with Scratch to find Flicker, a new member joins the crew. But it's an encounter with Vidalis at Xanadu that leaves both Flora and JP unsettled about his motives and what he has planned. Malcolm, on the other hand, just wanted to punch him in the face. As the crew prepares to attend a party at Vidalis' invitation, JP receives a text from Flicker advising him not to go. And so we're going to fade into the park in the blue-collar district. There's a picnic going on. Flora had set it up. And as we fade in, JP, you're looking down at yourself as you receive that text.
I'm just gonna like flip the phone around in my hand and hold it out to Flora.
She's making more of those floral crowns for Scratch since he liked it so much. So you just see her weaving these flowers in between the stems of each other, and she looks over. I thought he had her phone. She points at Malcolm.
Has that ever been a problem for Flicker before?
Text her back, see if she's okay.
She hasn't been responding. I'll try.
She's clearly seeing the messages, she's just ignoring it.
Yeah, well, I don't see any reason why she wouldn't ignore this one. Have you ever experienced Flicker warning somebody more than once about something?
No. But has that ever stopped us?
I'll send the text. Yeah, so JP types out on his phone, where are you?
Okay, so the text goes off, leaving you all to just kind of sit there, and you were still planning. You were putting together a plan to actually go to Vidalis' party in Olympus, and as Flora discovered previously, it's actually the location that Vidalis gave her for the location of somebody named Demi Meter.
Yeah, I got invited. Flora was going to be my +1. Scratch is playing in the band.
Scratch is playing. Yep.
And Malcolm.
And we're bringing our child.
You're bringing a child.
So actually, I think maybe that's like what JP says next as he goes. So is Malcolm gonna? What's Malcolm's in?
Well, he is Mr. Xanadu. Maybe one of his employees can get him in.
I guess I could say that he's with me.
Let's be honest. Doesn't he know how to get in anywhere else? Anyway,
look, I have no I have no doubt that he'll be able to get his way into the party regardless. Mm-hmm. The point I'm trying to make is, if we're trying to do this thing circumspect and get a lay of the land, opening this up with a ridiculous lie that Vidalis is obviously going to see through. I mean, it's his job to know things. You think he hasn't heard about Malcolm yet?
I mean, he met him last night.
Right.
He knows he's a crazy little kid who does whatever the fuck he wants. Look at him. Look at him. Are you still chasing the dog? The dogs?
No, he's been irritating Scratch the entire time because Scratch has the headache.
Okay.
I forgot that he was just getting hammered with you guys.
He wasn't drinking alcohol.
Yeah. Scratch thought the whole time that this child was just getting ripped.
That almost makes it like more messed up. Like he just thinks it's cool to just get freaking hammered with a kid.
I mean, if he owned the place, he can do what he wants, right?
That's actually a pretty valid point. All right. Anyway.
That's how affluence works.
Text comes in as a response. Safe for the moment. Don't go.
I'm just gonna text back. Coming for a pickup or pickup soon. Look, give us a location if you can.
Okay. Text goes off. By the way, Malcolm, you still have her phone, right? Gephardt did not take that away from you.
That's correct. I have her phone.
Okay, your phone continues to buzz every time she receives a message.
Yeah, I think he ignores it. He's
Of course he
having fun
would.
with his new
I'm just
friend.
letting you know that
Yeah. He's got a new friend.
So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do we just like? Does he have nice clothes? Do we just tell him to sneak in? I mean, could he be part of the band?
I believe that's what Scratch was trying to get him to do.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was happening last session. You guys were talking about that as a possibility. So
that makes sense. That would come to the top of my head then.
Or he could be my manager.
I mean, I do own Xanadu, so yeah, makes sense.
I mean, he could probably play like the tambourine or something, right, Scratch?
He can play on people's nerves for sure.
If he can keep a beat, he can play whatever he wants.
Hey, Malcolm, can you keep a beat?
Huh? You want me to beat up the guy?
Do you ever play any ship music, any sea shanties with your friends?
No. Because I'm not a pirate, JP.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I thought you were a captain of something. You have to have a boat.
You know, it's for the better because that's why I draw the line. I don't do sea shanty. I will play country music, country and western music, blues, hip hop, R&B, but I draw the line at sea shanty.
Seriously, Scratch. I mean, I'm really trying here. Like, sometimes you just gotta like meet him in the middle a little bit.
Yeah.
If he's on stage, he'll fit in.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have like, I don't know, like costumes or?
text comes in.
Check the phone.
New phone, who this?
Yep, that's what it was.
Sorry. Well played.
Wow.
As I stated, safe for the moment. Location unimportant. If you show up tonight, someone will die.
Someone.
Is that what you say? Do you read it and just go, someone?
No, that was me.
I don't know. That would have been interesting for JP's evolution as a character. Someone.
Someone. No, I'll show the phone to Flora again, and I'll just be like, I mean, what do you think? I'm not gonna say that our track record has been great ignoring Flora, but she is a little bit jumpy.
Oh, Flicker?
That's what that you're Flora.
Well, you do
I know I
ignore
look-
Flora too sometimes, but let's be
I know I
honest.
look different during the day, but Jesus, JP. You see her at the Someone Will Die. You see her kind of stick her hands into the grass where she's just kind of playing with the grass around her, and it just turns black a little bit. If I had to pick, I think you know who it would be.
Well, I mean, sure, but the point is, I mean, we're going to be on his turf. Going into a place and starting a fight. I mean, remember what happened with the skulls that one time? So
Yeah, I spit on one of them, and then I couldn't. You gave me a piggyback ride, and then something about Malcolm not being friends with that kid, and us leaving. It's kind of a blur. I wasn't really listening.
Manny. They broke his
Oh,
hand.
that guy.
the point I'm trying to make is we might want to be a little bit more. Okay,
I'm not saying rush in there and fight, JP.
hold on. Can I just? I did a lot of thinking the last month that we were apart, and I think that some of our issues may have been caused by us maybe not being entirely prepared for the consequences of the things that we're doing when we do them.
How are we supposed to prepare for what happened to Gephardt?
You don't think that anything we did a month ago was a little bit rash?
I'm not saying go in there and fight, JP. I'm just saying go in there, take a look around. I have answers that I need. I can ignore him if you wish.
Look, I'm just trying to learn from the mistakes of the past, Flora. I'm trying to do a little bit better. And it feels like maybe we should. I'm not saying we don't do it. I'm not saying we don't go. I'm just saying we could think about it a little bit more than we usually do.
I think Malcolm goes with Scratch. And I think you and I go as normal, as planned, and try to enjoy ourselves for once, maybe get some answers, and find out where Flicker is without causing a ruckus. You hear that part about the ruckus, Malcolm?
Cause a ruckus, got it.
No. If you're going to go tonight, you're not causing a ruckus. You're going to stay with Scratch.
Well, then what am I gonna do?
You're going to go with Scratch and protect him.
And make a ruckus.
No.
Scratch, do you make ruckuses? You want to make a ruckus?
We make ruckuses on stage.
See, he said we can make a ruckus on the stage.
He means musically.
I don't have that app.
Yeah, musically.
GP, we're fucked anyway. Let's just get him a suit, get him on that stage. We'll be fine. Listen, I got my own shit to worry about. Flicker is included in that shit.
All right. Fine. I don't have a better plan.
Do you ever? She just smiles at him.
JP gives you a look that's just like, are you kidding me? Really? Like, you have to just kick me while I'm down like that?
Where's your plan? You're asking us to make a, you spent a whole month thinking, you got nothing?
I have a plan, but you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be the exact same thing that always happens whenever we have a plan. We go in. JP tries to talk and tries to convince somebody something's going to be good. It'll be okay. Things go a little bit sideways. Not like a lot sideways, a little bit sideways. All of a sudden, everything's going crazy. We're on a flying pirate ship, or there's an undead dragon, or...
I wasn't there for that. I was minding my own business. Ish.
All right, we'll go to the party. Fine.
The second dragon was my fault. The first dragon was not. The second might have been my fault.
Look, we're going. It's fine. We're just gonna go to the party.
Dragons cancel each other out. Everyone knows that, JP.
Win, Fleur. We're gonna go to the party. We're not gonna make a plan. It's fine. It's fine. You win. It's fine.
I feel like I've been in this married couple situation before, but I just don't know. I feel like we're trying to raise whatever this is over here, and she points at Malcolm. And he's going to cause a ruckus. He's going to be far away from us. Can you handle him, Scratch?
I believe so. I can't make no promises. He ain't going to get hurt.
I never get hurt.
You did get hurt one time.
Yes, you did, Malcolm.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess. Yeah. Do you have clothes for the party, Malcolm?
Yeah. I'm in them.
I like to Scratch. Do you have clothes for Malcolm for the band?
We'll find him something.
I mean, he does kind of have a little bit of a Bob Dylan look going on.
Who's that?
How does JP know about Bob Dylan? Is that something? Or are we learning a little bit more about his musical taste from his past? Maybe something his dad played for him or something?
Why not? I mean, he's 20. I mean, like, people my age know who Bob Dylan is. I do.
Okay. Just
So-
curious. So, are you responding to the text of Flickr?
So yeah, the most recent one was just like, if you go, someone will die.
Okay.
And I will say, any more information you could give me would be greatly appreciated.
Malcolm's phone buzzes.
Flora goes into her bag and hands Scratch a little bit of money and is like, get him some clothes so he blends in, please. You have good taste. You could. I feel like you're up for this.
Scratch is just gonna take the money without even saying anything. Like
The next day we see him with a fancy hat.
he's gonna pull his sunglasses down when he takes the money and look at her. Put it in his jacket pocket.
Doing him a black suit, pork pie hat, sunglasses, right?
Flora's a little creeped out by that face and just kind of like gives him judge face and then stands up and walks over to the doggies.
You're gonna see Malcolm tonight. He's gonna be like, Zulu Zai, Zulu Zazuzay. I'm on a mission from God.
Yeah, I think Flora would take the dogs home. She would go out, get herself something to wear, get ready.
Hey, Malcolm,
Yeah.
let's go shopping.
Fine. Can I get snacks?
What kind of shopping trip would it be without some snacks?
Yes. New favorite guy.
Okay, so as you're all leaving, JP, you get one final response from Flickr, and it basically there's a lot of exclamation points, marks, start it, and then there's a space, there's like a line, and then it says, "If I can't persuade you otherwise, don't stay long." And that's all you get.
All right. Okay.
And so I assume we're going on a montage of shopping between Scratch and Malcolm. What does that look like, guys? And should we actually do a montage for that?
I don't think we need an actual montage for it, but
I don't know. I don't know. It seems like it would be a fun montage, regardless.
Yeah,
Some
we
girls
can
just
do
wanna
an
have
actual
fun.
montage, but not like the mechanical montage. I don't think there's a mechanic to gain out of this. But Mighty Moose donates $20 for a critical ruckus for each PC. Good stuff. So yeah, Scratch, where are you taking Malcolm?
Scratch is going to be taking him to a little warehouse in the old quarter.
Okay.
And it's just going to say Suits on the door with 2 O's. And it's going to be like hand drawn, like nothing fancy. And he's going to open the door and point you the way in.
Is this where we get snacks? What's a suit? Is that like a suit? Is that what they sell here? Is that a snack? Is it a new candy?
Did Malcolm for the first time just read something?
I was gonna say
I
that.
mean, it hasn't been the first time he's read something. He can read small words. He's not illiterate.
But you just okay. I'm gonna step back.
He can't. He
He
just
said
can't
that
read big
before.
words. He read a book. Said dragon on the cover. But he walks in and is immediately disappointed that there is not candy readily available for his consumption.
There is on the counter. There's like old, dusty mints.
It's just like Werther's Originals. Yeah, so he heads towards the candy immediately and begins just shoveling handfuls of it in his mouth.
I wouldn't. Okay. He's Scratch gets. He's about to tell him not to eat the mints, but you know.
The trick is you gotta get them in their cheek and on the side, and you can get more on there. I mean, I can get a whole bowl in there. Hold on.
Scratch is just gonna shake his head and walk up and go, "Bing!" on the little bell.
I didn't go them all.
Congratulations, you just ate somebody's mints.
Thank you.
All of his mints.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna leave them out there for everybody. You know,
Yeah, yeah, for everybody, not just for you.
it's free. You can take them.
See if you find some you like. And Scratch is just gonna
Oh, it's not a mint.
sit there and wait for.
Who runs the place? Who runs Suits? Tell me, Scratch. Who runs Suits?
It's gonna be an old man. Like he probably looks like he's 112. Bent over in the shape of a walking cane, just one step at a time. So Scratch knows that it's gonna be a minute before he gets to the front. So he's waiting. I gotta name this guy, right? So we're gonna say his name is Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Joseph starts strolling out from the back, and you see him hunched over, kind of, just moving forward slowly. And in his hand is a bag, and in that bag you see that there are more mints to throw into the mint dish. And he can't really see very well as he's. Who's that there? What?
Who you think it is, Joseph?
Oh, Scratch! How you doing, man? What are you doing here? Didn't I set you up with new suits last week?
Yeah. I'm looking for a friend. Malcolm, what size you wear? You're muted.
Regular size? I had mint in my mouth.
Good sir. You got something for him? Something
Hi, I'm
classy.
Malcolm.
He don't care who you are.
Well, that's rude.
And he's gonna tell the old man like something classy, not too flashy. He needs to be on stage and feel the rhythm and look the part.
Yeah, with lights and lasers.
That's not no.
No? What about
But
shoes with
boy,
wheels in them?
Does he need a hat?
I have a hat.
Scratch is gonna look over at him and go, yeah, he does.
Can I have a green suit? Green's my favorite color.
Jessup looks over at Scratch, and for the first time you see clarity in his eyes. I can do green. Do you do that?
There's mint on the table if you've got a cough.
I think green will do just fine.
Yes.
And he's gonna lean in. Make it like a real dark green.
Shoes?
I have shoes too.
Scratch is gonna look down at his shoes. Hey.
You can see his toe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys saw him an faux alligator. I'm not trying to. He's gonna pull the money out. He's gonna kind of count the money in his pocket. Yeah, faux alligator. I don't think I got alligator money.
Just to be clear, you're getting him a green suit and fake alligator shoes. Okay. Good.
10 out of 10.
He walks up to Malcolm slowly, and Malcolm, this guy is old, right? So he's like creeping over to you, and he's shorter than you because he's like got that arched back kind of a thing. He reaches out a hand, he touches you on your arm, and his hand is cold. And if it touches your skin, it feels a little clammy. Turn around for me, boy. And he turns you slowly, right?
What's happening?
And he's looking at you, right?
Is this okay?
And he 10 minutes, Scratch. And he heads back into the back.
Mr.
When he
Scratch.
reemerges,
Mr. Scratch, I think that guy was dead.
He comes out with a perfectly tailored suit, faux alligator boots, and a pork pie hat, green with a red feather.
See, I told you I was regular size. They already had one right on the rack.
Whatever you say, buddy.
Thanks.
And he just takes your money, kind of counts it, hands you back a bill. He's a good kid. He'll take care of him. And he starts to fill the mint bowl.
Okay, so now we get snacks.
Yeah. Where you want to go?
I can pick like anywhere?
Within reason, my friend.
What's the reason?
I'm picking. And Scratch goes to walk out.
Fine.
Scratch's gonna open the door and let Malcolm walk out in front of him.
He does.
And Scratch is gonna dig into his pocket and grab a coin and flip it to just Jessup. And Jessup is gonna catch it with absolutely no qualm.
He's going to do that whole sort of just grab it out of the air, just kind of go like this, like this, and then he moves really quickly to do that, and then he just sort of stumbles back to behind the counter and does something else as both of you leave. Is there anything else the two of you are going to do before going to the party?
Just get snacks.
Yeah, probably just go eat it.
Okay.
What do you eat?
Yeah, what do you eat?
God damn. I'm gonna take him to. Where am I gonna take you? I'm gonna take you to a bar.
Of course.
Of course, not Xanadu. And
You do need a little hair in the dog.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna just order bar food.
Okay. Yeah, and he just houses it because he eats junk anyway. So this is normal. This is a 4-course meal for Malcolm. He eats trash, Snickers, and pizza. That's all he eats.
Did you just say trash?
So he's you?
Yeah, so he's me. I told you, I play Malcolm. I am Malcolm.
No. Malcolm plays Mike during the day.
That's true.
That's all there is.
That's true. There's no difference, guys. I just put a hat on. And even then, sometimes I just wear this hat outside.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing.
All right, so we're gonna cut to JP and find out what JP's doing to prepare for the party tonight.
Can we not do that so that when I'm at the party and need to have set something up, I can do a flashback?
No, we're not gonna do that at all. All right, we're gonna cut to Flora. Does Flora want to do anything, or are we just we're gonna jump straight to the party?
Flora is going to go to the nearest store, rummage through it, realize there's no black dresses there, leave, and just hit up every store until she finds a black dress section and buys a cocktail dress. And then she herself goes to the liquor store, buys a bottle, puts it in her purse, as is customary, but realizes she has one of those little baby clasp purses, and then goes back in and buys those little baby bottles of liquor. And that's all that's in there, that and her phone. And now she's ready to go.
Okay, then.
She doesn't need to get ready.
So is the group arriving together at the party, or are there two? Are you going to 2 separate, 3 separate groups? How is this working out?
I would definitely go pick up Flora, but I don't have a car, so I would take an Apollo. But I assume that the band would go together.
Is it really a band when it's just 2 people?
I don't know. Does Scratch have a band? I assume you have like a band that you play with.
Haven't you ever heard a one-man band?
Well, yeah, but usually it's just not. It's not a harmonica.
It's there's he usually has the house bands play for him.
That makes sense. You're like a featured musician.
Okay. So JP picks up Flora with an Apollo. We'll start with Malcolm and Scratch. When the 2 of you arrive, you find yourself in Olympus at one of the largest estates. And as you enter the gateway of this estate, you see these wrought iron fence, right? And it's this beautiful sort of ornate wrought iron fence. And there's a brick, sort of a brick wall kind of thing, but it's like incredibly large, sort of almost like sandstone bricks that kind of make up this wall that kind of surrounds this place. And it's beautiful Greek columns and almost looks like, looks like some really, wonderful sort of arched architecture with columns and just sort of an open and airy. There's, kind of a place, big ornate doors, things that catch your eye almost immediately as you're entering, though, as you're entering the grounds, as the wrought iron fence opens to allow you and Malcolm in. There are 2 lightning bolts, one on each wrought iron fence gate as it opens, and they stand out. And then it looks like, as you see that, you kind of realize that there are swirls inside of the rest of the wrought iron, and those actually look like clouds. And at the crest of the 2 sides of the gate, you can see the shape of someone in there. But it's only as you're kind of like walking past and you kind of take it in. And so as you move into the grounds, everything looks incredibly well manicured. The trees are well maintained. There are fountains all over the place. You see some wild animals, actually, or you see animals kind of roaming the area. There's a deer or a stag, and there's a monkey, and just some other things off in the distance. But as you're kind of stepping in, they don't pay attention to. In fact, they kind of ignore the situation and actually begin to move away as more people are beginning to arrive to prepare for the party. And so when you step up to the door, somebody greets you and says, "Are you the musician?"
I'm Malcolm.
No, we're the caterers.
Well, then you need to go around back to the kitchen, caterers. But I don't see a caterer truck. You clearly are the musicians. I don't have time for your shenanigans.
You ain't seen shenanigans.
It's like all I have.
Give me your tomfoolery.
I have that too.
Person looks over at Malcolm.
Look, man, I was only told not to cause a ruckus. No one said anything about shenanigans or tomfoolery or nonsense.
It's Ruckus is the name of the band.
Oh.
He's telling this to the other person.
It's a good name for a band.
Well then,
do you mind if we?
You step in. She motions you inside, and as you kind of step inside, you can see that there's a bunch of caterers and servers who are really kind of getting things together, and there's last minute planning. And you see someone with a clipboard. You must be Beauregard? Is that do I have that correct? Can I call you Beauregard? Can't hear you.
You're muted.
I said no.
Okay. I have you listed down here by your legal name, Beauregard.
Mr. Scratch.
He's gonna point at Malcolm when he says it.
That's his name, not mine. I'm Malcolm. Hi, I'm Malcolm.
And, hello, Malcolm and
Yes.
Scratch. Is that the name of your band, Malcolm and Scratch?
Yeah. No.
Or Mr. Scratch
The
and
ruckus.
Malcolm?
We just said the ruckus.
Who is this guy?
Who is the guy that's talking to you?
Yes.
He's got a clipboard. He's clearly playing. He's clearly a planner.
He's
Okay. Whatever your name is. Go so the main room, and he kind of points in the direction. You're going to want to go in this way, and just get set up over there. Just do what you do. I've been told by Mr. Vidalis that you already have a playlist that you're going to, or a set list that you've. Okay.
We're just gonna do some songs, and you call me Scratch, I'll call you Black Hole.
Who's calling who what now?
He's dense, Malcolm. He is very dense.
Oh. Bitters
Okay.
donates $4 and says for the beards that once were advantaged all the players.
Jesus. Okay. And so as you kind of enter the rest of the house, it's very open. It's very there are a number of windows or open like areas like where you would expect windows to be or doors, but they're just open, and there's like curtains that kind of cover those areas, and they're very floral. Lots of plants. There are less couches and more chairs sort of in here. And there's a fireplace, and the fire is actually roaring, even though it's still it's still fall, but it's not that cold to get a roaring fire. But as you walk by, it's comforting. And as you kind of step into the big open area, this room is much bigger. It's kind of laid out, and there are a series of couches and tables and chairs sort of circled around sort of the center of the room, as if it's designed in such a way for somebody to hold court at the center. But off to the one side, you see the little position, the place where that the person with the clipboard was indicating where you would be setting up. And so as you set up and you get over there, you see that you've got a pretty open kind of view of the room and what's going on. But Vidalis is nowhere to be seen so far.
Okay, so where do we cause a ruckus? You said just the stage, right?
Malcolm.
Now wait, listen. I heard this one time before from another old person like you, and hear me out. If we can only cause ruckus on the stage, someone once told me that the whole world is a stage, which means I can cause ruckus anywhere.
You'll know when to cause a ruckus.
Oh, like a mystery. Okay. What do I do?
Look at me, Malcolm. Look at me.
Yeah.
You'll know when because I'll let you know.
Oh, that's not even a fun mystery. That's like a boring mystery. What do I do in the meantime?
In the meantime, look pretty and have fun.
Okay.
I know one of those things is going to be really, really difficult.
Yeah, because girls are pretty. Not boys. Boys are handsome.
Well, you a very pretty boy.
What does that mean?
I'm starting to think we should have
all of his guardians in this room immediately regret giving the child to the stranger.
Literally just met the guy last night. You're like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, JP and I are just like, nah, fine. We're more worried for Scratch than we are you.
Yeah.
I'm seriously concerned about where this is going.
I didn't mean it like that.
This is going on my list.
I called him a pretty boy, not you're pretty. Like it wasn't.
A little bit of both.
You're making it worse. You're making it so much worse.
Okay, so
I'm just gonna.
do I have like a music I can play? Do I sing a song?
I've seen the way you blow the harp. I don't think.
Goddamn, stop!
I don't think music playing is your forte.
Okay,
I hate you so much.
so then what do I do?
Can you sing?
Anyone can sing.
Then just help me sing.
Okay.
If you want to blow on that harp, by all means, just don't.
Okay. And I'm singing.
No. Scratch is finally realizing that this is probably not going to make him look very good.
That this is you're getting hazed like this.
So is Scratch going to take any precautions to actually mitigate the situation that is Malcolm, or are you just kind of like rolling with it at this point?
Yeah, no, he's not going to plug Malcolm's microphone in.
You're adorable.
As if Malcolm needs a microphone, right?
That's a genius idea.
And he's gonna ask to see his harp, and he's gonna poke holes in all the little reeds inside. Like he's gonna open it up and make sure that when he blows through it, no sound comes out.
Perfect. You just hear Malcolm is just doing it by himself like a kazoo.
That's loud.
And annoying.
So,
Sounds like Malcolm.
Yep.
All right. So this scene really isn't going anywhere. So we're going to cut to JP and Flora and the car ride coming to.
So Flora's actually pretty dressed up. She actually dressed up for the occasion. But she walks out there almost eating shit in high heels, hops in the car, is trying to pull up her gloves, and pulls out a bottle of whiskey and is like, one for luck? Is he deaf? Or, I'm sorry, mute?
He is mute. JP lost his voice on the way here. No, he's wearing a black suit. He's not wearing the charred, ridiculous blue thing that he had before. He's got like kind of a slim black tie on. He's dressed like very formally, like very like straight tie tuxedo instead of bow tie tuxedo, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I think he sees the bottle, like hesitates for a minute, and then like grabs it, opens it, and pours himself a little bit, like slugs it down, and then hands you back the bottle. And he's like, Flicker sent one more text and says we shouldn't stay long. Oh shit! I almost forgot. He like reaches into his jacket and pulls out a flower that he grabbed at the park. It's like a little bit like rumpled from being in his jacket, but it's in pretty good shape. And he like hands it over to Flora, but he's too embarrassed to make eye contact.
Flora's gonna pop it into her, like behind her ear, and you'll see it start to die a little bit from the from the stem, and she just adjusts it so it stops. And then, well, it's one way to piss our host off. And we'll be out of there soon enough anyway. It doesn't take long to burn a house down. And she just kind of smiles at him to wait and see if he's going to say anything.
JP literally makes the face I just made where he's just like...
I'm just kidding, JP. I'll behave. I can't promise for Malcolm, though.
He pours a little more of the bottle in, just like slugs it down. It's like the driver's like taking off, I'm guessing.
So I have one question because JP just said something that I haven't heard him say before. He actually owns another suit. Where did you get that other suit?
He has a
He
job
has
now.
2 part-time jobs now. And one of them, I'm guessing that this is like, I'm imagining this is like what he wears to go do business for Gallows.
Oh, so when he's doing like some more the sort of the high class jobs that he would be doing for him.
Yeah, like if Gallows like sends him to go talk to somebody, or it's kind of his like his classy fixer outfit.
Okay. Let me ask one other question, and this one's for Flora. Does Flora approve?
Of the suit?
Yes.
She catcalls him as she's walking towards the car because she's inappropriate. And she knows that'll make him uncomfortable.
Oh, it definitely gets exactly the rise you were looking for.
She gets in the car, and like if the window's down a little, she just looks in, raises her eyebrows, just to make him uncomfortable before she gets.
Yeah, he definitely full-on blushes. You get the exact reaction you're hoping for out of him.
You would see how nervous she is, though, about where they're going. She has that note in her hand, and she's just thumbing it.
Awesome. So the car ride to the Apollo ride to Olympus and to the home that as you're going, sun's starting to go down as you're kind of coming into this area of Olympus. I don't believe JP's ever been to the Olympus district. I believe that Flora probably has at some point in her life. But for both of you, the experience is interesting because as you're kind of navigating through the lower parts of Olympus, you see some of the normal houses that you would expect. But you're going on this really windy road that's taking you almost to the top. And so when you get to the top, or close to the top, you come to this sort of palatial estate. As I described to Scratch and Malcolm, when you enter the gates are already open. There's a line of cars just kind of dropping people off. But you see the wrought iron gate opened, and you see the sandstone sort of bricks that kind of line this the perimeter of this place, and you see the designs on the wrought iron fence, the lightning bolt, the things, the flourishes in the wrought iron that look like clouds, and a shape of someone sort of at the top in the top of this. And so as you're kind of pulling in, you see that there are a number of limousines and a couple of Apollos that are just kind of dropping people off and moving forward. And as you're kind of, you're making your way to the front, you see that it's almost like a red carpet event. That's how big and posh this whole thing is, but there's no paparazzi, there's none of that. And there's a lot of physical security, some physical security that's getting out of some of these limousines and escorting these individuals in. And you recognize city officials, you recognize celebrities, you recognize CEOs and executives from various companies. And at one point there's a vehicle that kind of pulls up 2 or 3 cars in front of you, a limo, and out steps Harold Bjorn. And right next to him, stepping out of that, is his sister Trisha. And they both kind of move inside as Harold has 2 bodyguards kind of flanking him. And so the vehicle finally pulls up and lets you out.
Yeah, so JP gets out and he'll help. He'll like offer an arm to help Flora out for sure. And I think if he notices you're a little nervous, he'll maybe like squeeze your arm or something, reassuringly. And I think like as they're walking in, he'll like kind of quietly just be like, I guess despite that screaming argument we had them having, they're still got invited to the party.
I think it's best if you and Malcolm stay away from him.
I'm almost wondering if he's the reason why Flicker said not to stay there for too long. Trouble seems to follow that guy.
Yeah, just try to keep your distance. And when she takes your arm, she'll just stay there. And she has the note pressed between her, the tips of her fingers and your arm, just kind of holding on to it.
Yeah, so I think JP will just start heading inside. He's going to keep an eye out for Malcolm and Scratch, hoping that they are not, mostly Malcolm is not doing something too obviously to draw attention to himself. Do we see Vidalis as we're going in yet? Or is he still nowhere to be seen?
Vidalis is not anywhere to be seen as you're kind of entering. And as you step out of the Apollo vehicle, you see that there's still a line of, a line of cars kind of coming behind you, and that the staff is just kind of welcoming you in, asking for your invitation if they don't recognize you. But what's interesting is JP is that, and this will stand out to you, they all recognize you. It's not like they recognize Flora, or they acknowledge that they recognize Flora, which they actually do, but they recognize JP, and they're just okay, come inside, and so as you kind of step inside, Scratch, what do we hear musically?
Scratch is probably gonna start off with just some ambient music, nothing in particular, just kind of since people are coming in, it's just mood music, right? So he's kind of letting the house band, they're just grooving. He's got it's a heavy piano, and maybe he might throw he might Cosby up at one point, just kind of throwing whatever. So it's nothing particular. Yeah. Thanks, Malcolm.
No problem.
Yeah, because he's not gonna get into the good stuff until he sees the room full.
Okay. I'm just curious, what does ambient harmonica music really sound like?
Horrible.
A sad railroad worker.
Just ambient jazz music.
Okay, so Flora and JP, as you're kind of stepping into this, stepping into this room and just kind of flowing in and looking around, Flora, there's something very familiar about this. It's unusual because, when you look at the open, airy nature of this place, you see the columns. It feels familiar. You can't quite place it, but it feels familiar. And as you're kind of walking through with JP, and JP is a kind of like assessing the situation. JP's new work, the jobs that he does, has given him a new appreciation for being situationally aware, not just walking into, and expecting to be able to jump into a fight. He's becoming situationally aware and feeling very focused on assessing the room. But for Flora, this is almost surreal. You're kind of stepping in, and some things look familiar. You can't quite understand why, but there's a statue over in the corner. And it's as if you've seen it before, but you can't quite place it. And as you step into the larger room, you see that the configuration as the party is going, and there are servers just kind of walking through and handing out, wine and different types of drinks and hors d'oeuvres and that kind of a thing. It's not the room itself that seems familiar, but it's the setting, the way it's set. You've seen this before. You get that impression.
I think Flora would drop her hand from his arm and just kind of grab his hand so she doesn't get lost in the crowd, but she's running her hands over the columns and statues, and she's just kind of, she looks like that kid that's on mushrooms at the party that is just touching everything.
I think
all the statues, all the paintings, she's just like walking through and just kind of like getting a feel for the room.
When you grab JP's hand, he like follows after you, but he like stops you for a second and like tries to like wipe his hand off on a suit pant. He's like, sorry, I'm just a little nervous. I haven't been in a place this fancy in like years. It's kind of surreal.
There's something about this place that's familiar to me. For such a place that is so nice, and I mean, you've seen where I live. It feels like home to me. Maybe I drank too much. Shit, JP.
Honestly, Flora, I mean, I'm starting to think that people like you and me and Malcolm, those kind of feelings are not just something that you want to toss away and disregard.
I mean, I had that note with this address. Vidalis gave me that. I asked him to look for family, friends, anything about my past. And now I'm here and... Shit.
It's fine. We'll keep our eyes open. We'll try to follow Flicker's advice and, you know, not stick around for too long. And I mean, hopefully we can get, you know, some information for you and find Flicker as well. We gotta talk to Vidalis.
Do we though?
I think JP gets kind of like a determined look on his face and just goes, he owes me. I told him that at Xanadu, and I don't intend to just let him walk away. He wouldn't let me do that.
Well, whatever you want from him, however it goes, I got your back. Even despite whatever is going on.
Good. I look over at the band and I'm like,
you see Flora pull a little candy bar out of her purse.
I have a hat. Yeah.
JP, he's actually behaving.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised. I honestly, if you had asked me 6 hours ago at the park, I would have said it would have already been fucked by now.
I thought this place was going to be ashes by the time we got here.
I wouldn't have been surprised. Seriously though, I mean, where is Xanadu? Where is not Xanadu? Vidalis. I'd really like to not spend a lot of time here. I've flickered. She's kind of an ass about it, but she's usually not wrong.
Yeah, but that's what makes it more annoying.
So we described what what Flora was seeing and experiencing as she was walking in. I'm going to describe a little bit of what JP sees, since his newfound professionalism gives him a little bit more insight into what's going on around him. The room is packed with mostly VIPs. However, interspersed are some plainclothes and not so plainclothes physical security. One thing stands out to you, though. Posted at every door are some rather young individuals dressed in what look like servers' outfits, but they're posted at the door. They're not serving anything. And upon examination, as you get closer to some of them, they appear to be stone-faced and sort of ashen, and they don't look healthy.
Do they remind me at all of the guys in the gray suits?
No, because they're not duplicates of each other. Absolutely not.
Gotcha. Because I remember you describing them as kind of being like kind of dead-eyed, so I just wanted to make sure.
No, these guys are the gray suited guys are definitely dead-eyed until they woke up with what's going on, and they're now wearing hats. Johnny actually ran into a set of them and had a conversation, which was really actually kind of entertaining. These guys are very different. They're all really young, though. They don't look. Nobody looks over 20 or 21, but it's all males, all dressed in the same type of uniforms, and they appear to be posted in pairs at the different doors.
Cool. All right. I think. Do I see anyone I know? First off, that's a good question. And does Flora could look for people she knows as well.
So at this point, I think this is a really good opportunity to do an investigation.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to do that, or would you prefer if I did it?
I think there's an opportunity for both of you to support each other in this. So whoever thinks they've got the better power tags to roll, and then we'll call the assist a +1 to that from the other.
I think you're still probably the pro at this, Flora, tags wise, is going to be my guess, because JP is still faking it till he makes it a little bit here with this new job of his.
I think access anywhere is like makes sense, just because she knows all the police and anyone else who she would maybe have more insight to city officials and other things like that.
Absolutely.
I would say gifted necklace because she's in her element right now and she feels comfortable, probably more than she should. And dead of night.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Do you think any of your weakness tags apply?
Is this hallowed ground?
Ooh.
We established that that doesn't apply here. Never mind. If it were in worship to something less than godly, less than holy, then it didn't count. But if it were like a cemetery or like a church or like just hallowed ground from a club or hallowed ground from a I don't know.
Okay. So I think this opens up a discussion to the table real quick. Because those are Christian values, those are Christian ideals. The cemetery, the church, that kind of a thing, that definitely represents hallowed ground. But what about? And I'm gonna be as bold to come out and talk about it from a meta perspective. What about a Greek temple?
Yeah, I think this is hallowed ground.
I would, yeah, but she's not affected by all hallowed ground. That's the point. The point is, okay. That was the whole point of her character, is there's like a 50-50 chance whether or not she's affected because of her backstory.
Oh, cool.
So when you and I had originally talked about, like, if it were like a temple to certain other deities, maybe not.
Okay.
Would she be affected by her background? If the answer is yes, then she'd be negatively affected.
The answer is no, that you will not be affected based on that discussion. My assumption was, I want to talk about this more off screen afterwards, but
I'll count it as weakness. No.
It's not about that. It's not about that. What I want to do is I want to clarify how other hallowed ground affects her, and not specifically how that actually plays into.
If it wasn't something from either of her backstories, it would affect her, is how I thought it worked.
Okay, then you're absolutely right. It's not going to affect her. It's good. You're good. So just there's no negatives, and JP is going to offer you a +1.
Okay. And then I am investigating.
Okay.
Mild success.
Mild success with 3 power tags. Okay, so ask me some questions, guys. Be judicious with your questions, but
I defer to Flora first, as it was her role.
Okay.
Do you tell Flora about the people guarding?
It would be kind of obvious to Flora, but for JP, it stands out as something that situationally that's difficult.
I'm imagining that me helping you here is like us both looking around the room and kind of like pretending to idly chat with each other, but really sharing information.
Did we know if this was his party that he was hosting? Or he just invited us to a party that was being held here?
That information wasn't made certain to you when he invited you.
Okay. JP, what do you think about asking if we can tell who the host is of this party? Or any information specifically to, like, are there family members on the wall? Can we tell who they are? Is there a name? Is that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
Do we know where the fuck we are?
Can we tell who, like, the host / owner of the location is? That seems like a good question to me.
Names, pictures, people being thanked or given gifts or, like, anything.
Yeah, you can. So as you're kind of assessing the situation and kind of looking around, you definitely get a sense of the individuals that own this place. You know, that it's a happy home, or that it's a happy state. You see some pictures on the wall. A couple through the years, a man. You know, a rather muscular man in a big suit, you know, well groomed, but sort of a stylish pompadour kind of a hair and a little bit of a beard or a goatee. It seems like even at a young age he had white hair, and a woman, beautiful, thin, sort of frail, always dressing in flowing sort of gowns. Through the years, you see various children in these pictures. Some of them happy, some of them not so happy. Flora, all of these kinds of things kind of stir you a little bit. You're not quite sure why, but you're feeling more of a stir. You don't actually see a name listed anywhere, though, and you don't actually recognize this person publicly. That from some sort of kind of a thing. You could probably sage and figure it out, but you don't actually recognize, like, you don't have a name to put to a face. But these are clearly the people that are here. And the last picture sort of in this line is a picture of both the couple, much older. The man looking very frail, and still a big man, but looking very frail and leaning on a cane. And the woman in a wheelchair. And she looks sad. But you haven't seen this couple around the house, and you haven't seen any of their children.
Okay. JP, what do you think about asking? This is my partner in crime. I'm just gonna keep asking JP first. What do you think about me asking if we recognize the kids that are guarding the doors, if we've ever seen them before? Not these, like, you know, is there there's nothing identifying, there's no, like, age, there's no, you know, something that would, like, indicate if we've seen these kids before, because Malcolm's always fighting people, and also he has lost boys, so, like, are they lost boys? Are they, you know what I mean?
I actually have an idea of who they might be, so I think that's a good question, because it'll confirm a suspicion that just nagged
Your
at
suspicion
my...
is right. Your suspicion is right. I'm going to take that. Your second question, your suspicion is right.
Okay, so we recognize the kids to be members of the Skulls.
That's right.
Flora's
Awesome.
like, fuck. You know who works with the Skulls? Is that goddamn dick.
Actually, as you're saying that, as the both of you are conferring, you see Samuel walking through the crowd, just acknowledging people left and right, dressed very finely with a top hat. A feather in his top hat, matching, you know, sort of the similar style that Malcolm had, and clearly his suit was from Suits as well. Jessup definitely was his tailor.
JP's gonna be like sipping his drink while he's like watching this like happen, and he like just says, he's like to Flora, he's like, honestly, it's not terribly surprising. I mean, we knew Vidalis was playing both sides. This just maybe tells us he's in a little bit deeper than we thought with Samuel. I mean,
He said he was an old friend. We heard him say that.
yeah, but I mean, I'm sure Vidalis has plenty of people that he likes to call his old friends. I'm sure he treats some of them a lot differently than others.
JP, do you want to find an exit strategy? Is that what's left at this point?
I think so. I was going to use, if we really needed to get out quick, I was going to use a flashback for that. That's why I wanted to skip what JP was doing before the event.
You say that now.
But
I mean, you could still use that to have something to be able to get out of the exit.
right. I'm just wondering, like, what if there's another question that might help us more, but I'm having trouble coming up with one.
This is one of those cases where if you want to walk into the scene again after doing this investigation, but want to bank that for as long as the scene is active, I'm more than happy to allow you guys to do that.
You want
Does
to do
that bank just for investigation?
Yes,
Or
that
that
bank
just-
is.
Okay.
So it would basically be you would basically be like you having a clue for the rest of the scene that you can spend. It would be much in the same way that you like if you had a juice that you wanted to spend for a change the game throughout the rest of the scene. By the way, guys, don't forget that the advantages that you got by that donation actually will count as juice, as if you had to change the game for a great success.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah, Flora, I think that's our move because I have a feeling at some point in this we're gonna like have a conversation with somebody and want to confirm a suspicion. And
I feel like Flora doesn't know who the fuck any of these people are, and she doesn't like how comfortable she feels here, so that's fair. She has a lot more questions than most of the people here, I feel like.
there's gonna be a moment where Johnny drops some hint, and both of us are like, "Shit, we have an idea of what this is, and we just need to confirm it." And then we're gonna want to burn the clue, so we should bank it.
Burn the place down. Got it.
You act like you know me very well, Sam. What's up with that? What are you trying to imply there, buddy? What are you saying?
I'm complimenting your GMing because you're always leaving out little hints here and there that I constantly want to confirm, but don't want to have to make rolls about.
Fair enough. Okay, you were going to say something, Scratch? Did I hear you wanted to say something? Okay. All right. So as you're kind of walking through the scene, you're the layout, Flora, those pictures combined with everything else around you leave you with a little bit of an unsettled stomach. There's a little something going on in the pit of your stomach, as it's not quite nerves, but you're nervous.
She's rubbing her necklace like aggressively. She's anxious.
And it's at that point that Vidalis kind of moves into the room on the far side. And he steps in and he's starting to greet, and there's a conversation going on, with somebody, and then he kind of moves a little bit forward and he's kind of working the room, not unlike you've seen Mr. Gallows do at Xanadu. And he's just kind of assessing and working the room and just doing this and doing that and stepping forward. And he spots both of you, and he smiles at Flora for just a second, and then continues on as he looks like he's making his way to you eventually.
Flora is going to. Is there? I don't know if I should do this.
You should definitely do this. Whatever it is, just do it.
Scratch.
Season 3, fuck it, but not season 2.
Flora is going to see this and just subtly grab JP's hand and is like, I'm not ready yet. And go towards the dance floor and just kind of motion for Scratch to pick it up a little bit so they can dance, and she can kind of ignore him and plan out her next move.
What does ambient to pick it up music sound like, Scratch?
It's gonna drop into some swing. Scratch is gonna pick up a saxophone that was there. I do have it here. That Scratch is a brass savant. He can pretty much play any instrument of brass. And
you're gonna play a little Baker Street.
Yeah, The
Good song.
Oh,
little
Careless
careless
Whisper.
whisper.
Oh.
Can JP dance?
He can dance tonight.
I want to hear what the song is, and then I'll describe.
No, it's Careless Whisper.
What?
Never gonna dance again. Guilty
She
feet
got
have
no rhythm.
So,
But it's like, but it's real poppy. Like it's an up tempo. It's Scratch's own version. So it's like
Swing and whisper.
puts the old Scratch flair around it. I think JP is a surprisingly good dancer, and the reason why is
Because he's into martial arts.
well, so it's actually a more common like off training for fighters and martial artists than you would think to make them do dancing, because it's great for your footwork and balance. So
opens up the hips.
yeah, and it's good for your flexibility, and all those things are really important. And it also is a good way to make sure that your fighters are willing to listen to you, because a lot of those guys get all grumpy when you tell them that they have to dance. So yeah, he's surprisingly good at dancing, and he will be. I don't know. Is Flora a good dancer?
Yeah. She doesn't know how, but she has weird. She's like a daytime dancer. She doesn't go dancing at night. She's like a drink at night and dance during the day kind of person.
Is she also a tiny dancer? Or is she more of a private dancer?
Dancer for money.
See this table? This table that I got right here?
folks.
Do you guys remember that time Flora just murdered everyone in this room? No, she's just like a dancing through the flowers kind of daytime Flora. And then at night, she's just grumpy, drinky Flora. So she somehow realizes she has skill dancing. And I feel like that swing dance, so like every time she gets pulled in, she's like, Vidalis is coming over here. And then she gets like thrown away. And then she comes back. She's like, what are we going to do? Are you going to talk to him? And then she just like goes back out again.
I think like on one of them, GP is going to be like, see if he talks to Samuel first. It'd be interesting to see what they say to each other, or if they say anything to each other. Like talking back and forth as they are out and in. Yeah, like do we see like? I just am wondering if like are there particular people that Vidalis is going to, or does it seem more like what Gallows does in that eventually he's going to talk to everyone?
It's exactly what Gallows does. He's eventually going to talk to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I know that at this point I'm just Flora's distraction until she's ready to talk to this guy. So I'll dance with her as long as she wants me to.
She'll do like the where you put your hands up like this, but you realize that she has her other hand going in her purse, and she's just like pulling out alcohol, and she's like, all right, we're in the middle of a dance floor. This clearly isn't the appropriate place for this. And is just like, you can see her getting like anxious.
You do realize that there are drinks floating around, right? And you could just have alcohol. You just can't have whatever you want brought to you.
Yeah, she does like bottom of the barrel whiskey, like gross, super nasty whiskey. So she brings her own. She doesn't want their fancy pants alcohol.
Gross.
All right. I think like as this continues on, at some point JP's just like, all right, Flora, it's time to bite the bullet. Come on, let's go. We're doing this. And he's just gonna grab your hand and like pull you off the dance floor, over like near the bar, but in a place where we're like in his path.
If you turn around, she's gonna go to the bar. Like if you turn around, she's gone. She's at the bar.
That's fine. I'm happy to talk to Vidalis alone.
And so as you kind of make your way back and sort of in the line of what he's doing, Vidalis eventually makes his way to you, JP. And he walks up and he says, hello, my friends. And he reaches his hand. I'm so glad that you were able to join us tonight. You said you had questions for me. Before we get started, where is Flora? And you see him kind of looking and just kind of scanning the crowd, looking for her.
JP shakes his hand and he kind of like gestures vaguely. He's like, she went to grab a drink. I'm sure she'll be right back. But I gotta say, Mr. Vadas, as much as I appreciate getting to come to a party, I don't come to a lot of places this fancy very often. I was hoping to talk business, and I feel a little bad doing that at your party here.
It's not quite my party. I just invited you. So businesses, that's generally what parties are for. They're actually to discuss business. And clearly you have something important you need to speak to me to.
Yeah. I think I started the topic when we spoke the other night. The way I see it, Mr. Vidalis, after our last encounter, I think you owe me a bit of a favor. And I could use a favor.
I'm not sure I understand the reckoning of that, so I think you're going to have to explain it to me again. And with that, when he says that, his phone buzzes a little bit, and he kind of looks at it for a second, and he looks around and puts his phone back into his pocket. So please, explain it to me again.
Flora comes back with 2 drinks and just quietly stands there.
Do you need to take that? Or
No, I'm fine. And then your phone buzzes, JP.
I'll do the same thing he did. I'll check it and see if it's, and like read it, but probably won't respond. Who is it from? I'm guessing Flickr.
Get out.
JP, because he's a silly person, is going to ignore his better judgment and put the phone back into his pocket. And he's going to say, Mr. Vadas, you strike me as a man of discretion, maybe more so than myself. I have to be honest, it's something I'm working on personally. But I know you wouldn't like it if I poked my way into your business and escalated a situation. And I feel like that's what you did to me about a month ago. And I didn't cause problems there and then. I let you take away somebody that I consider a bit of a friend. And I didn't cause you problems because I decided it was best not to cause a fuss. And like I said, I don't like getting involved in people like yours' business. But the way I see it, I did you a favor there.
By not getting involved in my business.
After you got involved in mine, objectively speaking.
Objectively, I was doing some work for your friend right here, Miss Flora. We had a deal. And I believe that covers any favor that I did you. I don't owe you anything. The work that I was doing specifically was for her. And the price for my work was her trust, of which I gained. Is that not correct, Miss Flora? And he looks down over at Flora.
You are just a man of fine print, are you?
Details.
Everything you do is fine print.
Details.
Every word that comes out of your mouth is a lie, as per our last encounter. You want that trust? Stop lying. Stop stealing people, taking them away against their will.
Excuse me, my dear. What did I lie about?
Our last conversation.
Be specific. Clearly, you have a grievance. Air it now. This is the perfect place.
My grievance is your air of superiority everywhere we go. I don't remember you.
That's, and he shrugs, not my problem.
Like, you clearly have history with Flora, and she's a friend, and that's fine. But there's no way you can tell me that what you did that day did not make the situation worse. I had to clean up that mess.
What situation did I make worse? That I called a dragon in as a friend for Miss
In
Flora?
what way did that dragon help anything?
She asked for my help. She asked for me to include this in the situation. Clearly, it wasn't required, and I then lost a favor that I had with a certain individual.
I was really hoping we would see eye to eye on this.
He only wants things that'll get him whatever he needs the way he wants it. Having everything does that to people. And she hands JP the drink and looks over at Malcolm and is just waving.
JP,
She's still standing behind JP. She's just away from Mr. Vidalis.
JP sips on the drink and says, I can see that I'm not going to be able to convince you that you owe me this favor. You're not the type of person who does that, even when they are owed. But I wouldn't be here if you didn't think you could get something out of me here too. And clearly, I can get something out of you.
You're only here because I actually wanted to see her. Let me be very clear. I owe you nothing. I only wanted to see her. And
I'm
I knew
afraid.
that she'd if you did.
I'm afraid we just don't see eye to eye on that, Mr. Vidalis.
It's not my problem that I don't see your perspective. Clearly, I'm the one with something that you want.
There's nothing that I hope more than that it isn't your problem, but unfortunately, it does tend to become people's problem. I hope not. Flora, is there anything else you wanted to say to Mr. Vidalis?
No, I think you and I should go have a drink. Go see our friends. Friends. People who are open and honest with each other.
He shrugs. Well, don't forget to say hello to the hosts on your way out when you leave, Flora. I think you'll find that very interesting.
Oh, that's speaking
You mean
of
like-
which,
You mean like your friends?
Which friends are you referring to?
The young ones. The ones
Those
who
are
can't
my
drink.
Those are. They can drink if they want. This is a private estate. This is a private estate. The rules don't necessarily apply here.
You know exactly what I mean.
He shrugs. I clearly, my dear, I don't. Just make sure that you pay your respects to your hosts on the way out. I think that you'll find that interesting. Oh, my dear. And he says, excuse me. And he begins to walk off. And as the two of you follow him as he steps away, you see that he walks up to Flicker, who's dressed to the nines in a dress. And she greets him and she smiles. And they begin to move off to the side.
Yeah, Flora's following them.
The moment they step out into the garden, two of the individuals at the door kind of step in front of you and say, you're going to give them a minute.
I'll give them a minute right here.
I have a thing that I would like to do.
Please do it.
I think so Flora walks up, the guards are closing to block her. While that's happening, JP plucks a hair out of his head and flicks it, and it goes kind of fluttering past the guards. And I want to use my transformation to try to turn into. I'm gonna pull a Morgan here and use spy animals. I think is gonna be what I gotta do here.
Okay.
So I want to be a literal fly on the wall with a clone JP. And hopefully not fail miserably.
Use your crit.
So yeah, I basically want to use my transformation and replication tags to create a fly to get me information.
Has JP ever done this before?
He has not. This is the first time we've ever seen him use his powers this way.
It's not an extreme situation, so I'm going to say it's not stop holding back. But I feel like there's got to be something to indicate the value and how significant this actually is. Okay, so instead of it being a change the game, let's call it take a risk.
Okay.
It's much simpler, and it implies that if you fail, or even you get a mild success, that there might be some level of a consequence.
And to be fair, this takes a kind of a level of fine control with the transformation and replication that we really have not seen from JP yet. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Cool. So I've got transformation tag, I've got replication tag, and I think Will of Iron probably helps me, but I definitely think I'm probably being a little prideful here and thinking that I'm a little bit better at my job than I maybe am, and a little bit sneakier than I maybe am.
Okay.
Can I give him my investigation tick?
And how is that going to help?
I think we save it because I think we're going to hear something that we're going to want to use the investigation tick on.
Okay, can I help then by distracting, since I'm telling these assholes that I'm not moving? They don't see him throw something over them.
How are you distracting them?
Being a pouty little bitch. Because they're like, you can't go there. She's like, fine, I'm just going to stand here as close as possible without touching you.
It's very distracting.
Okay, sure. Let's go for it.
Cool. All right, so I get an extra +1.
Yep.
And we are taking a risk. Great success. So yeah, little fly JP buzzes.
It's got JP's head on the body of a fly.
That's grotesque, but I love it. That's exactly what it looks like.
It's gross. I'm so terrible. I'm so unhappy that I mentioned that. I now feel terrible.
Flora's into it. I didn't mean like that.
I'm just going to leave that comment there and move on. Little fly JP kind of makes his way out into there. So JP, how do you hear what, or how do you perceive what's going on? How does the little JP fly give you the information, or does it have to come back and whisper to you?
I think it has to, the spell has to end, right? Because what JP does is his mythos, like in the story, learns magic from a sage, and part of it is this like clone and transformation magic. But I think that in order to get the information from the fly, like the fly needs to no longer exist. I think that's why he can't get information back from clones like the one we've seen before, where they just like kind of wander off and become people.
So I'm going to say this right now, just because we're talking about the nuances of his powers in respect to his mythos. I've watched 2 movies and I'm making my way through a TV series about your mythos. I just want you to know that. I've actually watched 2 freaking movies, and not the American one that was made, starring those 2 very famous stars. No, I've watched the local ones, the
one with the guy in the kitchen who turns into a giant pig. That's my favorite one.
I haven't seen that one.
That one's awesome.
All right, we're gonna have to talk about that one. But anyways, there's also a Netflix series that I'm currently making my way through about the mythos and everything around the mythos. So yeah, I just want you to know I'm doing my due diligence in respect.
I love it.
It's crazy. Anyways, so little fly JP kind of flies out. A couple minutes later, little fly JP kind of comes back. Poof. And here's the information that you get. Flicker is cordial. She is respectful. When she speaks to Vidalis, she's showing him respect and enthusiasm, but there's clearly something wrong with her attitude. She is not the quippy sort of sarcastic or concerned, aggressive. There's not a lot of emotion. It feels very fake. The conversation generally surrounds the idea that all of the information gathering is in place. The entire house is bugged, as expected. They are picking up all of the conversations that are important. There is a little bit of a concern about monitoring the cell phone activity, but the rogue cell towers that they had installed are all capturing the data, and the analysis is happening as we speak, and they're trying to get live data, and that her team is stepping up to doing the job that he has asked her to do. So she appears to be cooperating with him, if a little bit restrained and too diplomatic.
Johnny, who did we see walk out there?
Vidalis and Flicker.
Okay.
So the clue in feel free to stop me if you don't want to burn it on this, Flora, but I was thinking we would burn the last clue and see if there's any indication that like Flora has a base of Flicker has a base. I've done that like 3 times tonight. I'm sorry. Flicker has a base of operations anywhere outside of Xanadu. Like, does it seem like all of this is happening from Olympus as the home base, or does it seem like she has this operation going on somewhere?
So Olympus is what's bugged.
So the palatial estate is what's bugged. Olympus is the actual district. It's a sort of I don't know what the East Coast equivalent is, but in LA there's Beverly Hills and Bel Air. Mm-hmm. That's basically what Olympus is. So it's a series of mansions and houses that's right above Tinseltown, essentially Hollywood, and various rich people.
The West Village.
That may be the equivalent. I'm not sure, but that may be the equivalent on the East Coast. But yeah, it's basically, but it goes up the mountain. It goes up in a really tall mountain, and essentially this estate is close to the top. And so, is that the question that you want to ask?
Yeah. So less like if I get that they're like trying to pay attention to this place, but like basically, the question is like, does it seem like Flicker has some like sort of house out there somewhere where there are a bunch of people like monitoring? You know what I'm talking about? Like, does it seem like they're basing this operation from here, or does it seem like it's outside and they're trying to get stuff from here?
Is that your?
How can we find her? I guess is what he's trying to.
I'm trying to be a little more clever with the question than that, but yes, that's the long and short of it.
So that actually gets answered by little fly on the wall. As Vidalis and Vidalis and Flicker kind of split apart, little JP actually sees that she walks off in a direction and she heads towards what looks to be some sort of van or unit, right? Mobile, like sort of like a mobile bus of some kind, a bigger bus, and there are like various antenna coming out of it, right? And there are cables kind of running to towards the house. But it's not in direct sight of like if you look out from the house you couldn't actually see it, right? So. But she does not enter when Vidalis, walks back up and steps up to, where Flora is currently standing. And she's, something I can help you with, my dear.
You have her trained pretty well now.
She works of her own free will. I made her an offer. She agreed. She's fine.
She just nods and starts to walk back to the dance floor.
You're the one who broke her deal. And then he moves on to the other room.
Liars don't get trust.
I did your job. I gave you my friendship. You broke it, not me. And he continues to step in. And he has to talk to Harold Bjorn.
She sees Harold and kind of puts her arm out to JP to kind of push him out of sight a little bit, maybe behind another guest.
As you're doing this, JP is just going to be like, Flora, I think it's time to go.
I need to know who's hosting this, and then we can go.
All right, let's take care of that quick. What do you? How are you gonna do that?
I mean, do you see them? The people who live here? We've seen paintings. We haven't seen them.
Not paintings, photos, but yes. you have
Photos.
seen them.
Mr. Vidalis was very adamant about how interested I would be in who they are, in meeting them.
I hear you, Flora, and I trust me. I get it, but I don't have any other leads, and I mean, Flora doesn't send these kind of messages for nothing. I mean, when was the last time she warned us about something 3 different times?
You mean Flickr?
You go check on Malcolm and our new friend. I'll go look and see. Meet me at the entrance?
Yeah, let me know if you need help. JP will probably with a pretense of bringing drinks to the band, he'll head over there, let Flora do her thing.
Okay, Flora, how do you proceed to find out who's?
She's gonna be that awkward kid who has no friends at a party and just wander from group to group, kind of listening and looking around.
As you wander through the party, you hear that the gracious hosts are actually out sitting on the other side of the house in a sort of a patio area, just kind of greeting anybody coming in, but that they look tired and they look really sad, and it seems like age is finally getting to them. And there is this, there's a sadness when anybody talks how they used to be such a wonderful presence in the larger community, but it's really sad to see the light kind of dying in their eyes. And there are whispers that that Vidalis does not treat them well.
She's going to go over and start to make her way through people, just kind of, saying their hello.
Mm-hmm.
And as she gets closer, she just kind of freezes for a moment, just kind of staring.
So as you get close, you're probably maybe 10 or 15 feet, and you see a couple people actually, greeting them, and you're kind of stepping back and assessing the situation. You see the man seated in a chair, looking very tired as he reaches out and shakes hand and offers a sad smile. And seated next to him is his wife in a wheelchair. And she looks tired. And occasionally she says something, but then she goes back to staring off in the distance, and her eyes are vacant. And she's doing this. And it's at that moment that you hear from behind you, "I see you found them." And you turn and you see that it's Vidalis. They miss you.
Why would you show me this?
You asked.
Do you get
I kept
enjoyment from this?
Enjoyment from what?
Look at them.
My brother looks very, very tired. He's very old.
It's not him I worry about.
Yes, I suspect that would be the case. But for me, it is my brother and his wife, not your mother and her husband.
He has enough wives. I have one wife, one mother. Just one.
He shrugs. I can only do so much for them. They miss you.
You said it yourself, you don't care anyway. It's good to see them, though. She's going to make her way over. And she'll kneel in front of the chair, in front of the wheelchair. And she just puts her head in her mother's lap. Doesn't say anything.
Those around you kind of look at the situation and are really kind of taken aback. The man looks over, surprised at first, and you see the crinkle of a smile on his face as your head is just sort of laying in her lap. And you see him smile at you gently, and he kind of reaches out, takes her hand, and places it on your head, and laces it into your hair. And for a moment, you feel affection out of a mother to a child, soothing. But then it stops. And that kind of makes you pause, and you kind of look up. And you see that there's a smile on her face, but it's fading as her eyes go vacant again. And she's just looking off in the distance, and eventually her hand just sort of slides off your head. And the old man looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, my dear. She's not what she once was. And I don't know how to help her."
I think I might. I'll be back. And you see her, as her hand gets pulled away, her hair goes from pink, which it had been turning under her hands, back to black.
The old man looks up at you, and he assesses you for a second. "Don't trust my brother," he says.
I wouldn't trust anyone who would kidnap a child. And you see her rub her necklace anxiously and turns around and walks back. She's going to go look for JP.
Vidala steps in front of you as you're trying to leave. "I've kept my end of the bargain again. When will you trust me?" And he turns and he lets you by.
She kind of looks at him for a minute. I say what I mean, and if I want something, I say so. If I don't plan on being friendly or entertaining anything, I don't. Everything you say has some type of fine print or hidden meaning, or you give me something, I give you something. That's not how it should be.
It's not how it is with you. I would think that you would know the difference. Your friend JP is bold, but he's also arrogant and doesn't understand that there is no debt between us. You, on the other hand, I owe everything to. I wish you would understand that before you forget again. And he turns and walks over, and you hear him as he greets the old man. "Hello, brother."
She walks over to JP.
We're going to cut to JP currently talking to, or currently hanging out with Malcolm and Scratch. What is Scratch playing now? It's not Careless Whispers. What's Scratch playing now?
Now he has moved on to Baker Street. So. Yeah.
Okay. So
He's-
as you're playing,
he's just grooving, trying to get Malcolm to be a presence on stage. Just be like do something, dance or get into a groove, because he's just playing on his phone.
He was playing on his phone. But as soon as JP walks over, He like runs over and he says, yeah, and then all these guys, I know these guys. And then I looked at the phone and you weren't telling us all the truth. There was a phone message and you were talking and it was flickering back and forth and she said you get out and then she was here and I saw her here. She's in a dress. She looks gross. And then she was in a dress. She walked outside with the guy I want to punch in the face, the bald guy. Where's the Flora lady?
How loud is Malcolm being about this?
Malcolm volume.
JP, you see just sort of off in the distance, Harold Bjorn beginning to look in your direction.
Oh boy.
I did good. I didn't punch him in the face, and even though he had my friend, and they took my friend outside, I didn't jump in there and punch him in the face and steal my friend. And all the guys that are here, they're I know those guys. They're all Manny's friends.
I know you did a good job, Malcolm.
Okay.
We're gonna get going now. We're gonna meet Flora at the door. Let's go now.
But I'm with the band.
I know you're doing a great job.
I know, and I have to stay because it's a whole. Mr. Scratch said it's a paid gig, and you have to stay till the end.
Scratch, tell him you can leave.
Mr. Scratch, I didn't even get to cause a ruckus on stage yet. You just been playing boring music. I played on my phone.
Scratch is gonna.
Everything all right?
I'm fine.
We're getting out of here.
Because he was not paying attention to the conversation.
Just tell Malcolm he can leave.
Malcolm, you can leave.
But where are we going now? I just got to my first party. And I'm with the band.
You've been to a lot of parties, Malcolm. Seriously, come on. You saw the text messages from Flora.
I know, and you ignored them like a jerk, and then she disappeared with the bald guy that I want to punch in the face.
I know, we're gonna help her, but we gotta go now.
Flora walks up at this point.
I got a green suit! That's what you walk up to, Flora. It's exasperated sighs.
She looks heated. She looks like her blood might be boiling.
You look like your blood might be boiling.
Can we please just get out of here? We can talk about this in like 10 minutes.
As she's walking up and she looks like super angry,
You put a devil one down to Georgia?
No, Scratch starts playing Maneater.
All right, that's it. We're gonna bring Gephardt back in some way just for one episode for Scratch and Gephardt to be able to go off.
As soon as you start playing it, you see her go in her bag to get one of her little bottles. She takes two out, throws one to you.
Oh no!
And flips you off while drinking the other one.
When she throws it to him, he's gonna switch it up to Smooth Operator. Nice shot, eh?
The people on the dance floor are like, what is happening right now?
Nah, it's jazz. It all sounds the same. Where are we going now, though?
To maybe get Flora, hopefully. Come on.
Flora's right there.
Malcolm.
Ah, fine. And he gets off stage.
The Scratch is gonna ask, "How are we doing this?"
I say we burn it to the ground. No, wait.
I say we just walk out of the front door while we can and don't cause a massive ruckus. Look, Scratch, I understand if you got to finish your gig, but I think something's about to go down. So
Shit is indeed about to go down.
Did you say cause a ruckus?
No, God, fuck. Don't encourage Malcolm, please. God damn it.
JP's just going to grab Malcolm in one hand and Flora in the other hand, and is just going to start pulling them gently towards the door. And he's going to go, I'm really sorry about the Scratch. I know we just met, and I'm sorry. I appreciate your help, but we'll see you out there. Just you've got a number.
Flora's gonna wait up and just look to Scratch like, "Do you want to live, man? We gotta go." And that's me warning you. I usually don't give a shit.
Yeah, no. Scratch is gonna walk towards the door while he's playing, just kind of pretend like he's working the crowd. I'm like, hey, check it out, man. You know.
From behind, as Scratch is making his way through. Beauregard. As you turn, it's Samuel Valterra.
Valtierra.
Thank you, Valtierra. And he looks at you and he says, I didn't expect you to see you here.
I didn't expect you to see me here either.
JP, I know that guy. JP, I know that guy.
What are you doing hanging out with this boy? This boy that beats up my son all the time.
JP, I know that guy. I beat up his kid. That's Manny's dad. Remember that one time with the door?
Flora puts her gloved thing over Malcolm's mouth. Her hand.
Yeah, Scratch gonna say,
This, my friend, is Mr. Xanadu. I just got a reoccurring gig at his club, so I felt it was within my right to be cordial and befriend the young man. Maybe you should get the son some karate lessons.
When the door down? When the door become like a horse?
Flora looks to, she grips it tighter and looks over to JP. JP does teach martial arts. I'm sure he could help you out, your son.
Yeah, I'm technically retired, but I used to do it professionally, so I always take contracts. I'm a bit of a freelancer these days.
Ignores both Flora and JP. Samuel kind of looks to Beauregard. So? Why haven't I heard from you? I know that you stepped away, but we're friends, Samuel. We're friends. We've been friends for years.
Yeah, you see about that. You just weren't a good fit for me any longer, Sammy. I needed to branch out and be my own man.
Your own man. Your own man. Interesting. Okay. We made a deal. You don't have to respond anymore. You don't have to be my friend. But just remember that being my friend has its benefits, Beauregard.
Yeah, they were nice for a time. But sometimes you just gotta open your eyes, baby. And I like how you keep using that word friend. Not many people would use friend in such a way that would elude I like you.
I was noticing the same thing, Scratch. It seems like gentlemen like Mr. Samuel here, they manage to use the word friend in the most sinister fashion. It's very strange. Sure, it's unintentional.
See, Sammy, my friends are pretty smart.
Seems like more of an acquaintance, don't you think? You've only known him for, what, a day? 2?
How would you know this, Sammy?
I keep track of all of my boys. Especially those that leave me under unusual circumstances. Nobody typically leaves the family.
First off, we was a family. You helped me out, I give you that. You put me back on my feet. And then you tied a real short leash to my neck.
Well, that's what happens when, and he looks over at Malcolm, somebody lets their friends go, and then he looks back at you.
I'd appreciate it if you kept talking to me. Leave the boy out of this. He might beat up your son again if you talk to him sideways.
Well, that's okay.
He has been itching to punch something in the face.
That's okay. I believe my friend, Mr. Bourne over there, is quite angry and is going to punch him. And given that this is Olympus. Anything can happen. Nobody's going to fault Harold from punching a child.
Not in this house.
Mm-mm.
Mr. Jupiter and his wife do not take an active interest in most things anymore. I believe your friend Anatoly runs the household now. You might want to speak to him about that circumstance too. But in Mr. Anatoly's case, Mr. Vidalis, he tends to turn a blind eye when it comes to his friends. And I can definitely count him one of my friends. Wouldn't that be important to you, Beauregard?
You know, I'm real tired of you telling me what's important to me. I think we're just gonna do our own thing.
He's gonna hand him the sacks.
Samuels kind of takes it, looks at it. All right. Hands it over to one of his boys who's standing there right next to you. You didn't quite see them step up, but there's a couple of them just standing nearby.
I had it specially engraved for you.
Thanks.
And he's
And he
gonna
kind of reads. He turns it and looks it over as takes it back from him, looks it over. What does it say?
blow me.
You are a welcome addition to this show, sir. I shit you not. That was good. God
Well
damn
played.
it.
Well played.
Damn it. All right.
and he's gonna turn around to the rest of them.
Now, I believe we had somewhere to be.
Flora's gonna take her gloves off, take her hand off of Malcolm, take her gloves off, and just put it on his shirt, on his clothing, and on his shoulder, and just, Malcolm, let's go find somewhere else to cause a ruckus, shall we?
And I'll punch him again! Oh, sorry. Where are we going?
We'll talk about it in the car.
Oh,
There's candy in the car.
you a car?
We'll call one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bye, everyone. This has been a great party. I'm here with the ruckus. Have a good day. And he starts
And
to
at that,
walk
you
out.
hear a yell from across the room. I thought that was that kid. Let me at him.
Let's go. Seriously, Malcolm, let's go. Now.
Okay.
Flora's shoving her glove in Malcolm's mouth and pushing him towards the exit.
Bye, Mr. Harold.
JP is going to follow close behind, but he's definitely going to try to make sure that he keeps himself between Bjorn and the group in case a flying hammer comes at us.
As Samuel, as you're as Beauregard, or Scratch, as you're the last one to turn around, you hear Samuel say, "Well, it's been great talking to you, Beauregard. I hope we are not on opposite sides of this little ordeal that's coming."
Scratch is gonna stop.
Well, whatever side you on, that's not the side for me.
He shrugs. Good luck. And he turns, smiling, and heads back into the party as you see Harold Bjorn storming that direction, trying to make his way through the crowd.
Yeah, we might need to scoot a little quicker.
JP, can you jump him? We get outside, jump as far as you can.
Yep.
I was
Scratch and I'll figure it out.
All right, stay safe. As soon as we get out the door, I just grab Malcolm and just fucking jump.
He still has the glove in his mouth.
What does that sound like?
I don't know. How does the jump sound?
I was talking about if Malcolm was going to scream, but it works. Okay, so JP and Malcolm kind of exit the scene. Flora and Scratch, you're still there, and you see Harold kind of. Where did he go? Where is that damn kid? Wait, did you see a kid look dressed? And you hear Harold just begin to kind of describe the situation, describe Malcolm, the way he looked, but nobody seems to know what happened.
Laura's like, that really annoying kid? I think he went in one of the cars. Someone threw him in the back so he'd shut up.
Yeah.
Did you see which car?
No.
Damn it.
I'm pretty sure it was a white one, though. Yeah.
And he kind of looks around as he sees a white one, and you see him start to run in that direction. The car turns outside of the gate, kind of makes its way off the side. You see him jump. And as you see him jump, you hear a crash behind you that kind of distracts you. And you're like, what the hell was that? And you look again, and you don't see where Harold is. But a little off in the distance, you hear the crunching of metal.
I'm pretty sure we just got people killed.
Hey, she said somebody was gonna die.
Flora puts at least one of her gloves back on to just be able to pat Scratch on the back and be like, all right, you're cool.
The ways I see it, the only people that are worth anything to me was me.
All right, and your Apollo arrives.
Used to work for that asshole?
It's a long story.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, it wasn't really voluntary.
Neither was me marrying that guy. And then you see her eyes kind of glaze over as she gets in the car.
Scratch, I heard him say some things. Do you think he has someone tailing you?
Samuel's got somebody tailing somebody all the time. But I don't think he got nobody tailing me.
You'd think with all those resources, he'd be able to teach his son not to be such a little bitch.
You know, I was thinking that. I didn't want to say it. I felt like I had to be a little bit more tactful. But yeah, his son's kind of a little bitch.
I hit him with a bat.
He just wanted an adult to beat up a child. The guy's got no tact.
Who is going to beat up a child?
Never mind, Malcolm.
Oh, remember the time that I told you about the time we jumped out of the window, we fought the guy with the lightning and he threw the hammer at us? That was the guy, Mr. Harold.
Yeah.
Remember the time that JP got beat up? That was that guy, too. I remember I had to save him. I rode on a hammer. That was cool.
Malcolm is always saving me. Anyway.
You're welcome.
I think I may have an idea where Flora might be. I'm not
Sitting
sure.
next to you?
Flicker might be. I don't know what is wrong with me tonight.
You'll get it one day.
It's like, seriously, every single time for either of them.
You got a thing for Flicker, huh?
Or Flora,
not
who
drink.
knows?
What?
Did you need to drink? Did you not just drink? Did you just not drink tonight or something? Like you drink and you just didn't drrink tonight?
Normally, I'm drunker for the stream.
Normally he's tanked.
Oh, shit.
I mean, she was at the party, so I don't know if she would be there tonight. But I mean, with how much information they must have between Samuel and Vidalis, I'm worried that they would move around. Flicker may not still be there tomorrow.
To be fair, we know she's still alive. She's not in a good place, but she's seemingly unharmed, at least physically. And no, someone probably died tonight. No one at the party died tonight.
Flora,
when have we ever walked out of a room and not thrown fists?
look, don't get me
Or
wrong.
cars?
I think that this went pretty well as far as we're concerned. I'm just curious. I mean, Flicker seemed surprisingly willing to work with him. I don't know if he's got something over her head or what, but I mean, even when she was working with us, she was always kind of an asshole about it. She was really deferential.
JP, did you see the hosts after we parted ways?
Samuel's people?
The hosts.
No, no idea who it is.
Okay.
Is there something you want to tell us?
I think Mr. Vidalis is doing something to them. He controls the household now. And they're not like I remember them.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it's not the first time we've dealt with some weird mind control shit, but it's good to know that's on the table. Scratch, you don't do something like weird with your music to like, I don't know, help people's heads or...
Are you a snake charmer?
No. Music helps in many ways, but I can't clear the head of a haze.
Text comes in for JP.
I'll look at it.
What the hell do you think you were doing? You guys almost caused me problems.
I'm in a band now.
Malcolm.
You receive a text from Malcolm. I'm in a band now.
It says, Flicker, I'm in a band now. You receive a text from Flicker that says, I'm in a band now.
But I saw you tapping on her phone, so... yeah, JP will respond, we're getting you out.
Malcolm's phone buzzes.
I have a green suit.
You receive a text. I have a green suit.
Malcolm, please. I can get you a cell phone if you want to play with one.
No, I have this one. This is mine.
Okay.
Get your own.
So, obviously, Flicker has decided that she's fine on her own and doesn't want us to get her out, but I still think we should do it. The question is just, do we go for it tonight when she still might be at the party, or do we go for it tomorrow when they might have moved her?
We just ran out of a party from someone who almost killed you with a hammer the other day. And you want to go back in there after telling me to have a plan and not to cause a ruckus. You told Malcolm not to cause a ruckus, and you want us to go back in there. I'm just trying to get all the facts.
I don't think that's where Flicker's staying necessarily. I mean,
we can just walk in there and get your friend and walk her right on out.
I really don't think we can.
I like the optimism, though.
I've talked my way out of riskier situations.
I feel like there's a story there.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Vidalis is not going to be of any help.
There's no doubt about that. So, I mean, what do you think? Should we just go in, bust in there, try to get Flicker out? I mean, she clearly doesn't want that.
You get a text back. It says, you would be putting me at more risk by any action that you take. Please respect that. Somebody already died.
text back. Yeah, sorry about that.
I'll text back. It's a favor for Gallows, but I also owe it to you. I will be fine.
Not going to get a text. It's a favor to Gallows.
I get a text from Gallows, you said?
No,
No, I'm
get a
teasing
text.
Malcolm.
I get a text.
Man, what do I do? Wait, so did I misunderstand that? Did I misunderstand? Flora was at another location, right? That's what I found out.
Flicker was at another location. No, what you understood was that she was on the same grounds of the mansion that you were at, in a vehicle.
She was on a balcony with him. He walked past me to her. The guard stepped. She came out of nowhere, talked, and then went back to nowhere.
That makes more sense. Okay.
Back to nowhere. Interesting way to phrase that. I like that.
I don't know. I think JP's kind of lost here. This is the point where he's just like not sure. He kind of wants to just bust in there and do it the JP way, but he's trying really hard not to. So he's gonna look to Flora and just be like, I don't know. What do you think? She says she doesn't want us to get her out. I feel like we owe it to her.
I feel like if we're gonna help her, we're not gonna do it half-assed tonight. We need to come up with a plan. We need to make friends. Mr. Gallows clearly has connections and also wants her free. Maybe we speak to him. Maybe see what resources he can give us. Maybe we find out Vidalis' weak point and then exploit it. We start breaking his friendships with people. Maybe we start ruining whatever business deals he has.
Fair enough.
Murder him. I'm sorry. I got carried away at the end there.
So, guys, want to try to hit Xanadu tonight? See if we can talk to Gallows, or wait for tomorrow?
Well, I live there, so.
I forgot.
I guess we can all go there then. I mean, Malcolm owns the club. Malcolm, are you still with us?
I guess so.
What's
I didn't
wrong?
get to punch anybody, and then my friend Harold was there, and then Samuel and Manny was there, and then all of Samuel and Manny's friends were there, and then there was a guy I could punch. What?
Technically, you never saw Manny, but
Technically, I never saw Manny, but I know he was there, and then all of his friends were there, and then the Harold guy was there, and then I went to punch the guy in the face, and then Flicker was here, and I didn't get to see Flicker, and she was wearing a dress, and this sucks. Now I'm bored. And I didn't even cause a ruckus! This is the worst party ever.
Flora pulls out a candy bar and gives it to him.
I'm gonna take that. Angrily.
Sorry, buddy.
Thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, I kind of want it to cause a ruckus too, but sometimes you gotta not.
Being a grown-up sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll go to Xanadu then, because I want to report to Gallows and see if he can help me at all.
okay. So we're going to cut to the Apollo arriving at Xanadu. And as you're stepping out, it's a Saturday night, and things appear to be hopping pretty big. Tamonte's working the door. Lines around the corner. Tamonte sees everybody as they get out of the Apollo, and of course immediately goes, "Up high, little man."
Yeah, I got chocolate.
Mr. Xanadu, please enter
Thank
your
you.
establishment.
Yes. And my friends can also come too. Even
And he
JP.
points to Scrap. Even what?
Even JP.
Kind of smirks at that a little bit. Please enter. Gallus is waiting for you, JP.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I think JP will offer his arm to Flora because he's still kind of embarrassed about the fact that she asked him out and he didn't think it was a date at first. And so now he's just going to try to always assume that it's a date so that he doesn't get embarrassed. So he's going to continue to act like he's on a date with you and try to be very polite. So he's going to be like, Flora, I got to chat with Mr. Gallows. Do you want a drink? Should we grab drinks real quick? Or
I think if I was ever going to grab every drink in this bar, it would be tonight. I'm disappointed you didn't get to meet my parents. And she makes a face and kind of shrugs and then walks to the bar to order for them.
JP gives one of those looks. He's like just like kind of stunned as she like walks away. Is just like, I'll deal with that one later. I'll go. Probably. I'll actually. Scratch. Do you want to come with me? I'm guessing gals will want to talk to you as well.
Yeah, he probably does.
Do you mind, Flora? No, I mean, do you mind watching Malcolm?
Babysitting.
Yes. Tell him I need to speak to him later as well before I leave, if he has time for me. And then she's going to order, what was the 7 stars? Was that the max?
Are you asking?
Lightning bolts.
Lightning bolts, sorry. 7 lightning bolts. She's going to order 3 for Malcolm and keep 2 next to her and start handing them slowly to him.
Where are we sitting? Are we at the bar?
Yeah, we're at the bar.
Okay.
So little do you know, or you don't really see, as you kind of look away as you're drinking and scanning, he's being fed an extra 5 lightning bolt 1 each time you hand him a 3 lightning bolt 1 by the server that really likes Malcolm.
Yeah, and you hear, like, in a sad tone, I'll take a 7, Sam. It's been a long day. I went to a party, and I got a new suit, and I was told I couldn't even cause a ruckus. And I didn't cause a ruckus, and then everyone else wanted to cause one more, and then everyone else wanted to cause a ruckus, and I didn't get to cause a ruckus, and there was like a guy who throws hammers there, and there was a guy who was there, and his sons were there, and his friends were there, and then there's like a bunch of other guys that I wanted to punch him in the one more.
Flora's matching how much he's drinking with herself.
And Flora was there.
Remembering Scratch's mistake.
And Flora was there, and she said she wanted to cause a ruckus, another one, and then she didn't even cause a ruckus. JP's being a butt.
And you hear consoling words from Sam. It's okay, boss. We got you. It's okay. Sliding over another can.
Sam's, Sam's the bartender from Casablanca, by the way. That's what he looks like.
Sam is not technically the bartender.
No, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm saying this Sam is the bartender from Casablanca.
He's the bartender. Okay,
yeah.
All right. I knew what you were going for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna cut to JP and Scratch in Gallus' office. He finally shows up, and as has done before, walks over to his little mini bar, pours himself a drink, looks back at the two of you, and says, "Can I get you gentlemen anything?"
Yeah. Make it a double. It's been a night.
Scratch.
Muted.
Yeah, let me get a Tom Collins easy on the Tom.
And he mixes those drinks quickly, kind of puts them down near you guys, and moves around his desk and sits slouching, just sort of exhausted in his chair that looks like a throne. And again, you see the color kind of diminish from his skin, his pallor, his hair. And his suit looks a little bit more worn as he sits down and kind of just... I understand you two were at a party tonight.
Yes.
JP.
I was working on that thing you asked. He like drinks down like half the drink in one. I don't think we've ever really seen JP acting like this. He normally is not much of a drinker. He's like, I'm pretty sure that's where Flicker is, at least for now. Whatever mansion Vidalis throws parties out of.
Pretty sure she was there.
Oh, she was there. I just don't know that she's staying there, but I'm pretty sure.
She didn't seem too adamant to want to get out.
He looks at JP, looks over to Scratch, looks at JP. She's working for Anatoly?
I got the feeling, you know Flicker.
I do?
She doesn't like anyone.
That's not true. And he takes a sip of his drink. She just has a very particular way of communicating.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, she wasn't doing that. She was being like weirdly nice. She still seemed kind of pissed off about it. But I got the feeling that there's something going on there. I don't know if it's coercion or something more, but I mean, you never know when it comes to people like us.
So what was she doing there? Did you figure out why she was appearing to be coerced? What was Flicker doesn't just sit idly. What was she doing?
She's set up a whole. Have you ever read that book 1984? She's like watching the whole place. She's got everything bugged. I think they're trying to get into cell phone signals.
Surveillance. Situational awareness.
Oh, it's beyond situational awareness. They have the whole place wired up.
Did you figure out why?
If I had to guess, Vidalis, Samuel, and Harold Bjorn are cooking something up. Whatever it is Bjorn has been into, I don't know who's in charge of it, but whether it's all of their ideas or just one of it, they're all in on it together now. It's the only thing that makes sense.
He shakes his head and says, "My son hasn't learned his lesson yet." I spoke to him after his little dalliance a couple of months ago, inserting himself into the business of the Walker Foundation. But clearly he's not learned his lesson, so whatever he's doing, he no longer has my protection. Tell me what you need.
Well, I think the first step is at least getting Flicker out. Whatever it is, she's going to have the information. There's no way that if she has any kind of freedom, she's hacked into all of their gadgets, right? I mean, it's Flicker. So
do you think it makes sense to remove her from that situation if she's that tied in?
I mean, you're the boss. I'm just worried about trying to communicate with her.
Then figure it out. Tell her the truth. Tell her what's going on.
You trust her like that?
I wouldn't be having you find her if I didn't. My friend Calvin needs her back, working for him at the Walker Foundation.
All right, I'll do my best. Thanks.
He looks over to Scratch. Something you need to say?
Why do we care so much about this girl?
Because she's quite talented in her job.
Maybe she's doing her job. You say she's so good at messing with gadgets and getting information. Maybe she's just in it, you know? Maybe she's just collecting data.
How long were you with Samuel, Scratch?
The years kind of got away from me, but somewhere upwards about 20-ish years.
Were you ever involved in any of the deals that Samuel and Vidalis were executing?
I'm not the kind of man to get my hands dirty. I tend to broker in information. I knew of it, but I did not participate.
And there's a reason for that. Because if Vidalis knew your true talents, my good friend, he would have acquired you from Samuel. That's what Flicker is to him. Everybody thinks that Mr. Anatoly Vidalis is a gangster, that his business is crime. I think your friend Flora has a better understanding of what he's actually involved in. Maybe you should talk to her and then be a little afraid of if he tries to make an acquisition of you. That's why we need Flicker back.
Well, he knows where I'm at, if he'd like to try.
He's gonna sit back, take a big long drink.
I said, light on the town. This is almost all town.
I'm a straight shooter. I don't mix drinks very well. Go talk to Sam out there at the bar. He'll take care of you. I believe Malcolm is currently enjoying his company with Flora.
I'm just trying to lighten the mood, boss man. He's gonna get up. Now I'm gonna go get a proper drink and a proper explanation. He's gonna walk out.
Looks at JP as both of you are leaving. Downs the
JP?
rest of his drink. He
Yeah,
says, go ahead.
I was just gonna say JP finishes the drink because I'm sure he has like nice fancy glasses. So he like finishes it and like sets it down.
It's like really nice, crystal or whatever, right? It's nice glass tumblers. If you're a glassware sort of an appreciated, it's some nice stuff, right? And he looks at JP and says, "Do what you have to do. Tell her the truth. The sooner we get her back, the less likely that." And he looks over it as Scratch is walking out the door. The less likely that people like him and her will be acquired. Flicker's really good at her job, and she has history. We need her back now.
Yes, sir. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you, boss. I appreciate it. He just turns and heads for the door.
And kind of gives you a nod. Steps over. As you're closing the door, you see he steps over and pours himself another drink. And so we cut back to the bar where Flora. Haha! I called you Flicker instead of Flora. Thank you fucking much, GP. God damn it. Where Flora and Malcolm are currently drinking, and Malcolm is still kind of yapping at Sam.
And then the pirate came out and he shot the dragon. You believe that? He shot the dragon right in his dragon chest. And the guy was like, "Ah!" And he died right there. And then we fought the pirates, obviously. Another one?
Flora's about 2.5 bottles.
No! Frozen. 10 out of 10. Johnny's muted. Flora's frozen.
She can't get alcohol poisoning. Just listening. No! Is my internet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. So she leans in and she looks over at Malcolm and she's just mouth agape, just while he's telling this dragon story.
Yeah,
Just
and then he
word
made
for
a
word, just
robot.
listening.
Made a robot out of wood, like a wood robot. And he was like, pow, pow, and like pick up the boat. Yeah, those are fun times. Not anymore. Not anymore. Another one.
Not yet.
Well, not if JP has his way. I'll never punch a dragon again. You know?
To be fair,
Sam.
I helped summon one of the dragons.
And I'll punch that one too. Punch 2 dragons. 2 for 2 dragon punches. You know what I mean?
What if we find a friendly dragon, though?
Well, that's what I was told, that the one dragon was friendly, and then he breathed fire all over Mr. G, and then I punched him. Well, I did touch him. I didn't punch him. I grabbed him, and I smashed him into the ground, and I broke his wings. And then he gets shot by a pirate!
As Flora sees Scratch coming over, she doesn't even, like, nothing comes out when she opens her mouth, but she just does, like, an L shape of, like, get him a drink.
Nothing comes out when she moves her lips. Just a bunch of gibberish.
Just a bunch of gibberish.
And so
Motherfuckers definitely
JP's
forgot about
drink of
Scratch.
JP's drink of choice and a Tom Collins kind of slides over as Scratch and JP step up.
Look who it is! Hi, Scratch.
Hey, Malcolm.
No, I didn't say hi to you.
All right.
I said hi to Scratch. He's not a butt.
I'm sorry you think I'm a butt.
Good.
So, Gallows had some interesting things to say about Flicker, and I fill in Flora and Malcolm by extension. I basically say this stuff about how he wants us to trust her, and then finish by saying, so I mean, we're gonna try to get a message to her. He thinks maybe this is the right spot for her to be in. She might be able to get us more information on the inside.
Who do I get to not punch this time?
Did you tell Mr. Gallows that I wanted to talk to him?
I
All right. And she picks up the bottle and makes her way over to the room.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
She just puts the bottle up like, yeah, whatever.
you knock on the door as he's opening it and and you see him sort of sway for just a second. Hello, Flora. Come in.
Well, hello.
And he turns and stumbles back or doesn't stumble, but he moves back into the room, but he looks a little bit more inebriated as he makes himself another drink. I see you've got your own.
I usually bring my own, but I feel like that's rude in such a nice place.
I appreciate that. Your manners are improving.
Yeah, I think that's JP wearing off on me.
He's
And
a
you
good
got
boy.
Malcolm who wants to kill everyone or punch people. I don't know. But that's not why I came here.
Clearly. And he kind of looks at you expectantly.
I saw the people who held the party today. That was awkward.
He's just sitting there, sipping his drink, kind of just looking at you. Go on.
Do you know what's happening to them?
I know what's been spoken.
What's been spoken?
Anatoly is responsible for your mother and stepfather's business.
You mean for their current state?
Sure, I guess if you want to call that. Jupiter Inc. is now unofficially under the control of Anatoly. They are under his care, and they appear to be being well taken care of, according to all reports. That was the last thing that Flicker told me before she disappeared.
Not according to my reports. Have you seen them? They look awful.
Sorry, I don't make it out of my club much anymore. I'm not a socialite. I don't do all of that. I have too many things to protect here.
I don't want to tell JP because I feel like he'll be disappointed in me. But I'm thinking if I can get close to Vidalis, maybe I can figure out what's going on. When I'm sober, of course. Naturally.
You want to protect them, and I understand that. And they appear to be sick. Maybe it's an act. Maybe they're manipulating him. Maybe it's as it seems.
Listen, I've spent my entire life around life and death. It's not an act. Do you think it's possible to get that close?
Depends on how you're going to do it. My suggestion would be to be careful.
Everyone keeps saying that.
You don't remember the last time that you and him were an item.
Gross.
Your mother was distraught.
Well, figured I'd give at least one person a heads up, so if I go missing.
See, that's not how this works. He actually cares about you. He just doesn't appreciate the way that you treat him.
I mean, he's been treated pretty badly lately, but he kind of deserves it. I deserve it, hell, for leaving Flicker alone.
That's not your fault. You know that, right? You do understand that Flicker was always his target.
I didn't have to make it so easy for him. And she's going to stand up and go to leave and just kind of put her hand on his shoulder. If you ever need someone else to drink with, it'll never be as lonely even with other people, but it doesn't hurt. And she'll just go to head back to the bar.
And as you're stepping out, he says, Flora, he can be very bad for you. But at one time, you did love him. And that love made him better too. But I'm sorry that I can't help you remember that. Only he can.
Maybe I don't want to remember.
He
but
shrugs,
I can pretend.
and he raises his glass as you step out.
She is drunkenly stumbling back to the bar. Not stumbling, but making her way, trying to like get through people back to the bar. And she pulls her phone out. I want an explanation for how they got this bad. And she goes back, retypes it, how she got this bad. And she sends it over to Mr. Vidales and heads over to the bar and pops a squat next to JP.
Hey. You're all right?
What part of the dragon story are we at? The part where he punched it or the part where it flew away and then he punched it again? Or the one where he was like, ah.
Honestly, he's probably told it 3 or 4 times at this point. I like look over to Malcolm, who's like probably mid-story or some shit.
Yep, both hands. And then I was flying, and then another dragon came up, and then I threw my sword down, and I smashed it right through the bald guy's car. Stupid bald guy. Punch him in the face. You know, Scratch?
That is a riveting story.
Thank you.
I really liked it when you told it the 5th time.
Thanks.
That was probably the best time.
It gets better every time, I think.
Well, I'm gonna head off. Maybe make a phone call. I'll see you cats in the morning.
Fine.
Hey,
Thank you for watching him.
Thank you for my suit.
thanks for the help, Scratch. Well, it's appreciated. It's good to meet good people.
If you want to go to the park tomorrow, I'll be there all day.
I might see you there.
And Scratch is gonna spin around off his stool and head upstairs.
Do you need a ride home, Flora?
What about a jump home? Like a piggyback ride jump home.
Yeah, I can do that.
After seeing that car get crushed, I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, JP will take Flora back to her place via the rooftop route.
I don't like
I
that.
guess I'll
face.
just fly home.
I was just about to ask, are you leaving Malcolm there alone to get more and more 7 lightnings?
Yeah.
It's his club.
Listen,
Okay.
they grow up so fast.
Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of quick things here just to kind of finish this night sequence, because there's a couple of really interesting things that you all dropped just right at the last second. All right, so we're going to cut and follow Scratch upstairs. You said you're going to make a phone call. Who are you calling?
Scratch is gonna pull his phone out. He's gonna stare at it for a minute. Then he's gonna call Sam.
Beauregard. This is a little bit of a surprise given your public display.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm about. And I need some right now. It's information. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about information.
You're not my friend anymore, Beauregard. So that means this is a business deal. Unless you want to be my friend again, Beauregard.
What do you want?
I understand that my good friend Oscar Bjorn, or as you know him as your boss, Mr. Gallows, has an interest in a young woman working for Anatoly.
Yes. Go on.
Acquire her for me and you'll have anything that you need. And we'll call you a good friend whom I don't have to put a lot of pressure on.
And how would one go about acquiring her?
I'll help. It seems that your friends have been put on the job to return her to the Walker Foundation. I just need her for a night. I have some questions of my own, and maybe she can answer them. And then she can go back to her life.
You never change, Sammy. You never change.
Wouldn't be as fun if I did, would it, Beauregard?
Maybe not for you. I'll be in touch.
It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, Scratch would have hung up before he was able to say that.
So we're going to cut to JP and Flora flying through the air. Is this Flora and JP hooking up?
This is Flora drunk yelling, woo, with a bottle of whiskey in her hand.
As you're riding him as he jumps through the city streets, right?
Piggyback ride. Let's not put extra words in it, or less words.
I'd put less words in there because you're riding him to this place. So it's, piggyback ride, same difference.
He's carried Malcolm and jumped before. You didn't make it weird then.
You're the only one who's making it sexual right now.
I'm not making it sexual.
No, I'm talking to Flora.
Because,
It's a piggyback ride.
All right, so you arrive back at Flora's apartment.
I will get down so that Flora can climb off of my back easily. Then stand up and say, thanks for coming with me. That would have been not nearly as fun without friends.
You guys almost got your asses kicked by Hammer Dude again.
I could have taken him.
Next time you guys fight, text me first.
I
I
mean,
feel like I'm always missing out. You guys went on adventures before he passed away.
I hear you. Honestly, I most of the time feel like I'm just getting kind of dragged along in all of this, trying to hold on to like a raft as it goes down a waterfall. That's what keeping up with Malcolm is like.
He's a good kid, though.
Something.
There's something going on with. There's something going on with Gephardt. Oh, God damn it, with Mr. Gallows. God damn it. Now I'm doing it with other people's names. He started it. Him drinking alone like that. I haven't seen him like that before.
He's worried. I think he can. I mean, I'm sure something's happening. Something's going on in this city, and whatever's coming, it's not going to be good. Gallows just knows a little bit more than we do.
But if he wants Flicker back so badly, why not tell us?
He told me.
I'm assuming I don't want to know.
He told me to trust her and that she's good at what she does. That we need her.
If she says don't follow her, we can't do it. I can't be the reason she gets in trouble or hurt more.
All I know is that every time in the past when we haven't trusted Flicker, things have just gotten worse. So this time I'm going to do what Gallows said. I'm going to trust her. Trust that she knows what she's doing, and hopefully she's right. Hopefully it'll work.
I'm going after Vidalis. Figured I should give you a heads up.
I'm sure you have a good reason. Just let me know when it's time.
You see her open up the back of her necklace, and there's a ring inside. It seems like a lifetime ago now that it's starting to come back to me, but it's starting to make more sense why I'm drawn to him, why he won't leave me alone.
We've all got something, Flora. All of the people like us, I mean, who knows if that's why we have this shit or if it's some sort of result of it, but none of the people we've met that are like this are not fucked up in some way or another, don't have some sort of fucked up shit in their past. I mean, we're all trying to get over it. So...
Is your ex-significant other killing your parents?
Look, I'm not trying to say that I understand what you're going through. I'm just saying that we're all in this together.
Well, I'll be at the park tomorrow. If you need me. She'll go and give him a hug, and then she'll take her shoes off, throw them in the nearest bush, and go inside. Because fuck those shoes.
I think JP returns the hug, and then I think like we probably just get a scene of him kind of just like outside, like kind of staring off a little bit, maybe a little bit unhappy with the way that last conversation went, but like kind of unsure how he could have done it better. And then after a little while, he just bends his knees and takes a leap and flies off into the night.
So as the door closes behind Flora, she gets a text from Vidalis. Tomorrow night, Persephone's, 7 o'clock? Question mark.
She texts back, tomorrow, 1 p.m. in the park. And then she goes and lays down.
Okay, so we're going to cut to Malcolm. How is Malcolm doing with Sam at the bar?
He is regaling him with tales of daring do, as one does. Forlornly, drinking his 5th or 6th 7 lightning bolt energy drink. And then I got a green suit, and then everyone was there, and I wanted to punch everyone in the face. And they said, you can't punch anyone in the face. What is that? And that's essentially what he's going to be doing, I think, for the remainder of the night, until someone closes up the shop and makes him leave.
So as you're regaling with that story, Tamonte steps up. Little boss. You got a kid calling himself Slightly outside, kind of looking for you.
Oh, I know it slightly. Maybe it's the same kid. This tall?
This tall, and he begins to describe Slightly, and as the description goes on, Slightly definitely it matches the person that you know as Slightly.
Oh, okay.
Little boss, I can't let him inside. You know the rules. You established the rules.
Yeah.
I need to come outside and talk to him.
Okay, I got it. Great job, Sam. And he grabs the can off the table.
High five.
All right.
And so as you step outside, you see Slightly just sort of standing out there, kind of pacing back and forth, and he's kind of moving back and forth, and he's really excited. You know, he's just like he's nervous. There's something wrong. There's something. Slightly doesn't act like this.
Hey.
There's something out of character about this.
Hey! What are you doing?
Malcolm, where you been? We've been looking for you all over. Like all the boys are looking all over. We couldn't find you. What's going on?
For you.
Where have you been? Stories. That's great, but we got a problem. Have you seen Gideon?
Did you check on the pier?
What? No pier? No, he walked outside and we followed him, and he was walking back and forth, and he was just kind of wandering aimlessly, and then he kind of walked toward the docks, and then we lost him. We couldn't find him. It was weird.
Did you go to the crazy island?
What crazy island?
Well, the crazy island on the docks.
I don't know about any crazy island on the docks.
Well,
I just know that we can't find him.
You're gonna find out today.
Tina's not helping us.
Tell you what, if there's a dragon on the island, I'm gonna punch it. Let's go.
Okay.
And he quickly high fives Tamate, and then he goes to leave.
And as the two of you are beginning to leave, there is a shadowy figure standing behind you, kind of watching as the two of you kind of head off.
Ooh.
And standing next to him is Gideon.
Next to...
And that's where we're going to end. Next to the shadowy figure. Oh. And that's where we're going to end it.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm punching everyone next episode, guys. Suck it. I punched no one this episode. I behaved so hard. Guys, that was awesome. That was episode 2, Dead Man's Party. I think that was a very appropriate title. Worked out quite well. Thank you so much, McLoken. Thank you guys from the Chosen stream. Thank you from McLoken's raid there. Sorry you guys waited towards the end of the episode, but thank you for being here. If you guys want to see more of this fun RP content, hit that follow button. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here on the channel. And this weekend, we're doing a 12-hour charity stream. As a team, we've already raised over $6,000. And so we're going to see if we can push that as high as we can this year, because 7,000 is our current goal, and I feel like we're not only going to crush that, but we're going to shoot for the moon and hit 10 grand. So definitely stick around for that. Let's hear from our cast and crew, get your thoughts on the episode today, and then let's go pass that right along. Let's go to the sad girl who cut her hair for charity. Miss Ginger Ninja, who are you? Where can we find you, and what did you think of tonight's episode?
Hey guys, I'm Miss Ginger Ninja. The word charity makes me cringe a little bit every time. But you guys should definitely come check it out and support the Extra Life. I am here every Wednesday, and I'm on Kelsa Delphi's channel every other Thursday for not Blades in the Dark, Band of Blades. And that game is awesome. We're running it with one of the creators, Strash. But yeah, you can check out my channel for some games.
Dope. Let's jump right over to Mr. KW Frags. Frags, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of this episode?
I liked it. I am KW Frags. You can find me, here on Twitter at KW Frags, whatever. Yeah. So I thought it was great. That ending, though, shadowy figure. Who is the shadowy figure?
Who knows?
Tune in next time. I don't know. It's gonna be great. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Previously on City of Mist, we have a shadowy figure.
Oh, and I really liked telling Samuel to blow me.
That was pretty good. I had that clipped.
So
that's gonna be
good.
Great.
That was so good.
10 out of 10. With that, we'll jump over to Sam. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I had a great time tonight. I appreciated you guys letting JP take the lead a little bit more. And yeah, it's always nice. So we'll definitely try to spotlight some other people a little more because JP got a lot of screen time today. I'm Sam, twitch.tv/wizardfool, Twitch at @thewizardfool. We'll find out. Maybe JP is developing a case of feels for Flora. But since he can't seem to remember her name, maybe it's actually Flicker and confused. Follow me. I do roleplay stuff all over. I'll be back for the charity stream on unMade's channel this Saturday. So come support the kids. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for playing, everyone.
Fantastic. Awesome. And last but definitely least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
So I want to comment on a couple things that I think was really awesome about tonight. One, it was not a Malcolm-focused episode at all, and yet Malcolm inserted himself in the most appropriate places. I loved and I made this comment when we did the first episode for this season. I love the evolution of JP. I think that him stepping to the forefront as sort of this quiet, not leader so much as the continued voice of reason, but an experienced voice of reason, really just shows real growth in the character and the story arc for that character. I can't wait to actually nail his more elements of his mythos as he develops into this particular, because it's brilliant. Sorry for the feels, Flora. And we're not done. So just so you know, we're not even close to being done. And of course, Frags, Blow Me was perfect. It was perfect.
That's my one thing. That was my shining moment of the episode.
There, it's not so. Like I said, I wish Gephardt was here, and because Scratch and Gephardt, I think, would get along really well or really hate each other, and I'm not quite sure which. But yeah, Scratch is a welcome addition to this show. I love it. I love what you're doing with him. So, I'm Johnny. I'm the video store cowboy. I'm the GM for the 6&Twenty. This crazy thing that we do 3 nights a week. Tuesdays on my channel, Wednesdays here. Thursdays over on Not So Speed Runs, 3 crews, 1 world, going craziness, all playing City of Mist. I will be on Arvin Elron's channel on Friday playing more Esper Genesis, and then we'll be back for a one-shot on Saturday for the charity stream. And that is shaping up, actually, very interestingly, out of some of the elements of this week's shows, so I'm looking forward to it. And that's it. Yeah, that's me.
Sweet. Guys, come back tomorrow. This was an awesome episode. Come back tomorrow for My Homebrew World of D&D 5e as we wrap up our 50-plus episode campaign, Havoc in the Hinterlands. Like I said, come back Saturday. Saturday we have a 12-hour stream from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to raise charity for sick kids. And currently going on right now across all of these 6&Twenty channels, we are doing a team-up with Son of Oak, the City of Mist creators. If you type in !mist in chat, if you go to the website cityofmist.co.something/store, I think, and you type in the 6&Twenty fan, you get 10% off the PDF, the hardcover book, and the starter set, any combination of those. So go ahead and get yourself a copy of this awesome game. And with that, we're going to go raid our friends Geek Space TV. They're currently having some lovely ladies on the stream, and they are playing Leviathan, Stars Without Numbers game. And Stars Without Numbers is awesome, so definitely go check those guys out. And give them all your hot, sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye!